Yo, this decade has been wild, so I brought some of my best friends to talk about it. Today we're going to discuss the top 10 hip-hop albums of this decade. Welcome to Opinionated. Welcome everybody to our first episode of Opinionated. Here we're going to be discussing everything from trending topics on Twitter to politics that are happening through our nation. Right here we have some of our Tampa's finest influencers, everywhere from podcasters to hip-hop artists. Today, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the 10 top R&B albums, top 10 hip-hop albums of the decade. Let's introduce our panel. Right here we have Gats.
GAC $, don't forget the $.
Sam. Patrick Hughes.
What's happening?
Friki Donya.
Hey.
And Bronze.
What's going on?
So for episode 1, we had our panel here jot down their top 10 albums of the decade. So from years 2019 to 2009. Here's the list. All right, guys. So we have a list of about 30 to 40 albums. The goal here right now is to cut them down to 10. So Take Care, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Man of the Moon, Because of the Internet, Daytona, Veteran, DS2, all of these albums, we're going to try to cut them down to 10 so then we can rank them from 10 to number 1. Anyone want to start a discussion?
Take out the Veteran.
Whoa.
With you on that one.
Who put Veteran?
I put Veteran.
Why'd you put Veteran?
It's a forward-moving album. I think there's nothing out there that sounded like Veteran when it came out. Independent, JPEG was able to tour off of it, made a really big impact just on another level. It showed a different side of rap, which I don't think people are really tapping into. And granted, I know it's a little bit of a tough choice because I feel like everybody may have not heard it.
I was gonna say the different side of rap. We're not hearing that side, unfortunately.
But I think that JPEG is going to definitely be a bigger voice in the coming years, and I think hindsight's 2020 is going to be something that's important. But I do know that it's going to be a little bit of a difficult choice because, I mean, let's be frank. Has anybody else here listened to Veteran?
Can we do a vote?
Yeah, so Veteran is the first album on the chopping block. We're going to keep it very simple here. We're going to go a vote. So vote for yes, majority rules. Anybody that want to keep Veteran on the top 10 albums of the decade?
Obviously, it's just me. So
raise your arm.
Yeah. You know, we don't have to do this.
All right, so Veteran, anybody that is...
No.
Right, anybody that doesn't want Veteran on the top 10, raise your arm, please.
Bye.
All right, sorry, Veteran, you're the first to go. All right, I think one of the biggest albums that stuck out to me from you guys' list is DS2, that Future album, 2015.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who put Dirty Sprite?
I feel like that has to go, though.
It's got to go.
Oh, wow.
That has to go.
Why'd you put Dirty Sprite?
I put Dirty Sprite because that was actually the first Future effort that I listened to. That was the one that got me like hooked. What was on that?
You can't think of a song?
Freako was on there.
Freako, Commas, Trap
Rich
Niggas.
Sex.
Yeah.
Groupie.
Blow a bag.
Good album.
It's a great album.
Great album.
I ain't got
Top
no
10?
love
Absolutely
for
not.
no sluts.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard a rapper. I don't know.
The thing about
The
it
first
is,
time I heard is first time I
Right.
was in the gym
Yeah.
working
Right.
out.
Now
That
blow a
shit
bag.
was
I
hard.
heard
That
a
shit was
rapper
hard.
say, "I don't got no love for these sluts. I put my thumb
In her butt.
in a butt."
Wow.
That was a profound lyric.
Yep.
DS2, in my opinion, doesn't even hit the top 30 of the decade.
I think the thing is, if we decide right now to keep DS2,
Yeah.
we're gonna come around and
And
it's
then bring
gonna-
it up.
It's gonna get cut off.
Is DS2 a top 10 album
I
of the
have
decade?
something to say.
That's
I
right.
did not listen to Future before DS2. I didn't care for his music at all. And when DS2 came out, the impact that it had just around me, like everybody was listening to Future, everybody was listening to DS2, whether you
It was
feel
a
like
hot album for a moment in time, but is it an album that holds longevity? Does it?
I mean,
What do you ask was that?
Does the ripple effect affect music sonically beyond that moment in time?
I mean,
Absolutely not.
Where your ass was at?
Everywhere. Because to me, that album is nothing but a more trappy version of Roscoe Dash.
it's unfortunate.
Roscoe Dash.
I will say this, and I'm gonna
Roscoe.
try to be impartial for the entire segment,
That's
but I
hard.
think It is hard because I'm a music
Let's
lover.
take a vote.
It's a great album, but
Let's take a vote.
I'll say this: DS2 is what sprungboard him to make the album with Drake.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I don't think he would have made the album without him.
I think-
Well, I can tell you, as far as DS2 is concerned, I probably played that like a whole 9-hour drive to North Carolina. So I rounded that thing out crazy. My girl hates the album, so
He know where he was at.
I definitely was at there.
He
All right.
know where his
I was
ass
up and down
at.
95.
So
Where
does
your ass was at.
here's the question:
Sorry,
so
it was
does
on my
Dirty
list.
Sprite 2 make the top 10 album of the decade? Vote yes. 1, 2, 3. We got two yeses.
Where you at with it? Where you was
Votes for no's. 3 no's.
Crazy.
All right, well.
Bye bye, Dirty Sprite 2.
Goodbye.
Is there any particular reason to Pimp a Butterfly should be on there?
Shouldn't or
Should.
Okay.
Should
It's
be.
beyond music. It transcends the genre. The ripple effect of what it did aesthetically, sonically for music and hip hop. Beyond that point, it's going to stay here for generations, in my opinion. And from front to back, it is a piece of art beyond being an album. And for that reason, it's one of the best albums of our decade.
Do you
by
think it was
far.
before its time?
100%. Which is before its time in a manner in which it is almost predated hip hop, but brought it back to what hip hop is. It's like facts. Facts.
Yeah, big fusion.
Big
You
fusion
agree?
project.
Because I think my appreciation for the To Pimp a Butterfly came just because, like, the first album, and then this was right after, 2 or 3 years later, it was almost like a 180. Like, any other artist you probably would have heard that type of music from, that type of shift, you would have been instantly like, I don't know about this.
But that's what makes him a great
No,
artist.
and I agree.
It's like Picasso, right? Most
Yeah.
people know Picasso for his cubism, but that is just a phase, is a collection in time. And that's why Kendrick stands who he is, because every single project is a moment and a collection of a style.
And I
he
thought I
moves on
wouldn't
creates
be,
different.
and I thought I wouldn't have enjoyed it honestly. And it was like, nah, I'd probably get this more play than Good Kid, Mad City, anytime, any day, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this our first unanimous decision that To Pimp a Butterfly is on the top 10 hip hop albums of the decade?
I think it should. Yeah, it should definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I feel like there's some.
She don't feel it.
There's some static somewhere.
I mean, but I'm not gonna vote no.
There's a disruption.
Okay.
It's already, you feel me? Like, I
Right.
understand it, but for me, it's not on my
I mean, you
top
can
10.
vote no.
Why not?
You know, 4 to
So
1.
it won't be our first
It's
unanimous.
just, it didn't,
Yeah.
I think because it was so forward, I didn't give it enough listens
Listen.
that it deserves. And I think if I was to go back now with hearing this perspective, it might change
Oh, that's fire.
how I feel.
Better
you know
in
what I
5
mean?
years.
But I feel like I've heard it, but I just didn't hear it enough to where it stuck with me to be like, oh, this is my top 10.
Okay. So all those for, raise your arm, please. All those against, we got the lucky
Just
one.
one.
Don't
But I'm
we?
not
Okay.
against. I'm not against.
No, you're not
though.
against, but
But
you
it's
know,
just a
man.
vote no. Like,
Gotcha.
Shit like-
Bet.
shit like-
I mean,
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start the conversation with Bronze. Which album do you think should not be on here?
You know, I hate to do this to my queens, but Pink Friday,
Oh.
Nicki Minaj, 2010.
Why?
Isn't that the one where she got like 3 iterations of it?
She did have 3 different versions.
And she been kind of riding the wave of that monster verse forever. And ever.
I have an objection.
What?
I just like Nicki Minaj and that album. That album was a great album. 2010. I was still in high school. That's well, you got that's super bass, my brother.
Yeah, super.
Think about that.
It's
No,
When did you have the super bass?
I'd rather not think.
I ask everybody else. Super bass? You like super
I
bass?
do not
Super
like
bass? You like super bass? Super
I did
bass?
not like that song, bro.
Shit.
I did not
She
like
had-
that song.
Let me tell you
Good for
right
what
now.
it is, but I don't think that.
Yeah, but a single's gonna
You
carry
the
you to
E-list. Bop, ba, da, bop, bo. For your loving, I'm a diehard like Bruce Willis. Bop, ba, da, bop, bo. The same genre bending we're giving Kendrick. She genre bend. She scattered. Ella Fitzgerald. Channel.
No, that's
To
scat
freedom?
shit.
You got all that from that.
To freedom.
My boy, we
Pete.
listening to a different album.
All right,
You gotta
I
have
get
that in there.
All right, we're gonna go to the right to a vote for Nicki Minaj Pink Friday.
My boy.
So for Nicki Minaj Pink Friday, all those in favor, please raise your arm.
Will I am?
All those opposed,
Ultra?
all those opposed,
Oh,
please
wow.
vote. All those opposed, say
Did
I'm
you pick it on
against.
that?
I did.
Duh.
Pink Friday is
Well,
gone. So now we're gonna kick it off the gas. Looking at the list, which album should not make it for the top 10 albums of the decade?
All right, so I have 2 objections.
My lord.
I didn't put any Drake on my top 10 list, but I do feel, you know, as we're in this community conversation, that Drake deserves to be on the list in some way, shape, or form. I get it. But we have Take Care, we have Nothing Was the Same, and we have Views. And I personally think that out of these 3 albums, Nothing Was the Same was his best album. But on an argument standpoint, Views and Take Care seemingly have stronger arguments. So I'm kind of like, one of these or two of these need to go.
I'm with you
Yeah.
100% what my favorite album is, but I think Take Care and Views. Take Care should go and Nothing Was the Same.
I agree with him.
I think Views is his magnum opus, and that is his peak.
I think that Views was overbloated, and if we're gonna get risky, I'm gonna go for Nothing Was the Same.
To be off.
To
You
stay.
gotta get
Oh,
risky.
I would
no,
keep Nothing Was the
that's
Same, and I would remove Take Care. I think Take Care, a lot of people love that album because of nostalgia and what it meant to them and all of that, and it's gonna. But as far
It
as
pulls on your heartstrings.
it pulls on your heartstrings. But if we're talking about hip hop, Nothing Was the Same was fantastic rapping. That was really like a transcendent point for him, I think, as a rapper. I mean, started from the bottom, introduced the flow that a lot of people thought was kind of weird, but now it's something that people do all the time. Worst Behavior, Connect, 305. The language is something that really
Yeah.
spurred a lot of what we got out of Thug now.
Yeah.
You know, I think that Nothing Was the Same is actually the strongest project on here. So I would.
I don't care which one stays. I think he deserves one of them.
Hotline Bling
He
is
wasn't even on my
Views.
top 10, so.
I chose two.
How do you feel about?
I didn't
Hotline
choose
Bling?
Views though.
I chose
Views
Take Care was
either.
probably the one that most people argue as his classic. So
Right.
that's probably why that one was for me. But Nothing Was the Same. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if two left. I mean, it's kind of a bloated list.
Yeah.
You don't need 3 Drakes.
Yeah.
But Nothing Was the Same is the one that's like gotta
That's
stay.
the one that
That's
I
the
would
one
vote
that's
for
gotta
if
stay.
we're
Yeah.
gonna vote.
Is it interesting to y'all that Drake is one of the very few artists with 3 albums that got nominated?
No, not at all.
No.
No, it doesn't surprise
There's
me.
2 people that
He's the
got nominated
GOAT.
3 albums, right?
Yeah.
Drake does
The
not
GOAT.
deserve 3.
No,
He's
there's-
our most consecutive shooter. I mean, like,
There's 3
Right.
people who have 3
he's
albums.
steady.
on
He's
there.
always there. He's always going to put up numbers. He's good
He's
every
James Harden.
single time. But he's not great.
It's
And I don't care what
so
anyone
bad
says.
for me because I hate James
It's
Harden.
James Harden.
But
He
I
is.
love
You're
Drake.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so it seems like Take Care is the album that we're gonna get rid of.
For
by
sure
everyone's
now,
agreeing.
yeah.
His sophomore album.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take it.
Absolutely.
It's interesting.
Unfortunately.
I mean, Take Care is deemed his classic. So are we sure that?
I'm
Gone.
sure.
Yeah, we
I'm
can
very
get rid
sure.
of
Okay.
it.
I mean,
I've
I
never
argue
subscribed to that.
more classes for Drake, but I mean, Take Care is the one that most people will say.
Okay, so Take Care.
I
Do we
agree with that.
should we vote? No.
No.
I ain't
I
got
know.
no.
All right, Take Care is gone. So we're only putting one Drake album. You got Nothing Was the Same or Views.
I got Views.
Nothing was the same.
I got
Nothing
Views to
was
stay
the
on.
Nothing
same.
was the same.
I want Views to
I like
stay.
Views.
Why Views?
Hotline Bling is on Views, man.
Love Views.
He's facts.
Hotline Bling on
I don't love Views.
Fire-
Hotline Bling is on Views.
Fire
I
the
don't know
Your
what else you
arguments
wanted.
around
I said it.
singles?
I
West
said it.
Hotline
Hotline
Western
Bling's
Roads
on
though.
Views.
Western Roads for.
I said Hotline Bling.
Yeah, no, that's the one.
So your criteria is based off singles.
It's not. But for this
Hotline
Hotline
Bling,
Bling
Hotline
was...
Bling was a
You
bonus.
can't
It's
ignore
crazy.
it. You can't ignore it.
Views
And
with
it's,
him
okay,
Does
put it like
anything
this.
get taken
Let's
away?
just
That's
like
how
this.
you do it,
Not-
huh?
For me, Nothing Was the Same was first released as a mixtape on SoundCloud.
No, that was If
No.
You're Reading This.
That's
Is
the-
Too
If You're
Late.
Reading This Is Too Late.
Which is the reason why I didn't put If You're Reading This. Is
Yeah, it's
Too
not
Late
on the
it.
list.
Because it's a
So-
tape.
Nothing Was the Same as the baby head.
Yes.
Yes.
With Wu-Tang
Nothing-
Forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
All right,
Tuscan
so-
Leather.
Tuscan
His
Leather.
best intro.
3 beats.
That might be the best intro.
That's
one
the
of
best intro
intros
he's
hip-hop
ever done.
in
Yep.
the last 10 years.
I just listed it
He
earlier.
ain't got me.
Whoa.
He does not have me.
He does not have
Last
me
10
on
years.
intros.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's not-
that's
it's
but
not
that's,
even James.
but that's like
Me.
comparing to Michael Jordan.
Oh, I
That's
was
the,
about
So
to
my
say,
question,
me.
to go back to your Views argument with Hotline Bling, is it distasteful to put him for that single because of the whole cha-cha drum situation?
It's not the same record.
Man, still that
It's
shit.
not the same
I don't
record.
think
Man,
that's
it's
the
close.
same record.
Still, sometimes you gotta steal. Great
Yeah.
artists steal.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
It's true.
But it ain't the same record.
Okay. All
It
right.
ain't the same record. But no, I got Views. I wish I remember what else was on Views. I got one for each album, right? Wu-Tang Forever versus Hotline Bling.
Wow.
No.
Goddamn Hotline Bling.
Wow.
All right. So we're gonna go to a vote, and the vote is gonna be between these 2 Drake albums. So if you think Nothing Was the Same should be in the top 10 albums of the decade, please raise your arm. 1, 2, 3.
It don't matter to me. Either or.
We are a
I don't
public
mean-
that respects
It don't matter.
democracy. Nothing Was the Same makes it, and Views is not
Sorry,
on
buddy.
that top 10 list. Pat, let's start with you. Is there anything on this list that we can eliminate?
Let's go victory lap.
I'm with that too.
Oh boy.
Personally, I like the album, but I agree with him. I don't think Nipsey Hussle, that album deserves to be in the top 10 of the decade.
If we were talking about like maybe top 10 songs, There's some gems on that album. There's
it is.
some
It
is to me.
It is.
You know,
Y'all,
and
if you think it's on the top 10, everyone's being biased.
but yeah,
Right.
It's my RP to him all day, but that's the only reason why he's on this list to begin with. It's because he died. He does not deserve to be on that top 10.
Victory Lap was a top 10 album of the year
Period.
before he
I
passed.
don't care if pissing one off. I'm being dead ass
Opinionated,
serious.
baby. That's what
RP
I'm
to him.
talking
Opinionated.
Never knew the man. Everyone says he's a great guy, but not even close.
Why not?
Not even close? Why should it?
I don't know.
Under the
I took it off.
his album did not get the buzz. His death got the buzz.
Yeah, but I think he got snubbed for that Grammy though.
Bullshit.
He got snubbed for that
Bullshit.
Grammy, though.
Cardi?
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I'll bet everything in my
I mean,
bank account
I could argue
does not
Cardi,
deserve
but
to
he
be.
got-
See, this is the thing though.
Got
This is the
okay.
thing.
Cardi.
He got snubbed for that Grammy,
So
though.
first, so even Invasion of Privacy not being on this list, we have three
We're sexist.
other albums that were nominated for
Yeah.
Hip Hop Album of the Year for that year. 2018 was a
What,
stacked
for
year.
Grammys?
For Grammys. So we have Swimming, we
Gra-
have Daytona, and we
Grammys
have
are
Astroworld.
biased. I mean, everyone's person in this room knows that
Grammys
Grammys
are-
are
of
racist,
course.
Yeah.
and voting rights for Grammys are bullshit people.
They're bullshit.
I'll be honest.
But
The
I do
parameters
feel
for
facts.
our list, I'd never say anything about Grammys. So,
No.
although it's an important part of the conversation, that wasn't mentioned.
No, I
Yeah.
get that. But what I'm
don't
saying
think
is
anybody
those
respects
other three
Cardi.
albums that were
You're
nominated
bugging.
that we have on this list,
Yeah.
I feel are all better than Victory Lap or do something that Victory Lap did not do. I do think that Swimming represents a magnum opus for Mac Miller. I do feel that Daytona is probably the best pure rap album
And that's the
that
same
came
for
out.
Hustle too.
And Daytona is.
No, I mean as far as his albums are concerned, that would be.
You
his
feel
rap.
that, but
What's Magnus Opus?
but
I think he didn't reach his Magnus Opus.
I don't think he's reached
I
his
think
Magnus
he's
Opus either.
still gearing up. He's still swinging
I mean,
the
had
bat with a
you-
weight on it.
Had you guys listened
His
to the
hu-
records before?
Yeah.
yeah,
The ones before? Because I mean,
I
I
definitely-
think this one was like the most.
it was the
thought
best.
His
out
death
and
pulled
the
on
mo-
everybody's heartstrings.
But,
Yeah,
but
before-
Magnum
before-
Opus
before.
doesn't. Magnum Opus doesn't translate to best album per
Correct.
se. The
Correct.
Magnum Opus is really this point where you reach your peak.
Creative.
Your just creative peak. You're just whatever it is. I think that after Swimming, I don't know what else Mac Miller could have done. And he still would have done greatness. I know for a
Right.
fact. But
Yeah.
Swimming is such a perfect album. Like it is.
Beautiful.
It is really. I feel like that is his most pure intention ever. I don't think that Nipsey was there with Victory Lap.
No.
I think he still had more to go. He had way more in the tank.
He had a grip on the culture, right? His album did not. So we're gonna sit here and vote on a person, not his music. If you think it
I
belongs
agree with that.
on the list,
No.
you're voting for a person. You're not voting for the music.
Okay.
Maybe
And
the wrong list.
that's
but
why
I
it
hear
does
you.
not belong to be there.
So then let's bring it to a vote. Does Nipsey Hussle deserve to be in top 10? Raise your hand, yes. I'll take the no's for it. Victory Lap is out of the top 10 albums of the decade. You mentioned Daytona. Is Daytona top 10 decade?
I chose Daytona as my
Man.
last one. I think.
Why?
This is a hard one for me.
Daytona's a hard one.
We
Very
taking
hard
Daytona
one.
off?
I'm
I
asking.
mean, that,
We haven't. Yeah.
I didn't necessarily choose it to be off, but I definitely chose it to stay.
So should Daytona be on the top 10 albums of the
I
decade?
don't know yet.
Right now,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it should stay in limbo because
Yeah.
I'm very biased to that. I love that album. That
It's
album,
perfect.
Textures, it is
It's perfect.
It is a perfect album for what
He
he
didn't
is.
waste the bar. The beats was
It's-
perfect.
But Pusha T is something
maybe
to
Ye's
me.
probably the
as
worst
a
part
person,
on
so I'm
there,
very
maybe,
biased.
but
Vote.
that's about it.
You think the beats are flawless on Daytona?
No, I didn't say they're flawless, but I'm just saying
The
they were
imperfections are
good
what
for
make it
for this.
perfect.
And that's not what I'm. No, there's some choices on there, but I'm like,
Oh, I mean,
okay,
Bro,
Kanye.
those weird textures are what make Daytona Daytona.
Weird textures is what made veteran, but
Yeah, but there is no.
yeah.
They
No
had
range.
the
Also,
Whitney.
range.
First of all,
Right.
they had
Yeah.
the Whitney like Coke
Nah, keep that.
on the
That
cover.
That's a brilliant run. It's brilliant.
You don't like it, but it
Brilliant.
got people talking. It's polarizing. It's art.
Yeah, but that's corny.
I
Why?
disagree.
That's corny.
But that's
Why?
art. That's
I
I
relevant.
don't think just by stirring it up, that man, you could throw splatter at a wall and people talking. That's some
Art is values
Oh,
only in
no.
the perspective.
You're right.
Does him having 7 tracks make a difference at all?
Not at all.
No.
I don't
Well,
think the number of songs
It
should
was
have
seven.
anything to do with the
Seven.
album.
Well, this
Good
is the
enough.
thing though. You know, a lot of times when you have like classic
get
albums,
overkicked it.
a lot of the albums that get revered really have like shorter time links.
Mhm.
You know, somebody did a study about it, but you know, back in the days where you had vinyl records, you can only have X amount of minutes. It's around 42 minutes.
Yeah.
So there's like the 42-minute theory where like people are conditioned to listen to an album
Only
in
42
42 minutes or less. So when you have less tracks, and all of them hit, it sounds a lot better than
It's a cohesive
Like,
concept.
it's a cohesive concept.
Plus,
So like
in 2018, I would probably say that, and around that time, definitely from then on, people's attention spans is much smaller.
Much smaller.
So if you can get that, condense that to like a commute, like here to the grocery store, here to the Walmart, here to the
a run.
to the mall, or a run, a workout, like you
Yeah.
done consumed this album, you done lived with it, you can round it out, maybe on a trip, and you could actually digest it probably a little bit better than having 20 tracks and only keeping 12 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
That's a great point. As well as he had the Drake beef starter in there.
That was not
Ooh.
the beef starter.
It wasn't the beef starter.
That wasn't the beef
Inferno,
starter,
that was
but that was
the-
absolutely the point.
was
Where
the shot.
Where's the gasoline on
Drake
the fire?
absolutely
It's the
could
gasoline.
not say anything at that point
Facts.
anymore.
He
They
should've
had
got
been
Are you
going at
referring
each
to
other.
Inferno?
Huh?
Infrared.
Infrared. They had been going at each other for years before that. And at this point is when Drake was like, you know what? I'm not taking this shit anymore. And he still didn't actually come at Pusha T. He came at Kanye.
Good beat,
Okay.
good bars.
And at that point, what
Keep
like
Ye off of it.
you gotta think this nigga, basically according to Joe Budden, this nigga reworked his whole album
From the
Right.
fall. Yeah.
from this
Right.
from Pusha T saying what he said
He did say that.
to
Yeah.
Yep.
Drake's
Scorpion-
album release.
Yep.
Scorpion, may have been
Scorpion,
a classic, and we'll never know.
Yeah.
And that should, and honestly, that should count
and
for
that's
something.
and that's Pusha T.
He done moved the needle for the
He
GOAT.
he had nothing to say, and then the nigga went off.
Yeah,
Pusha T made this man go on LeBron James, in his barbershop and
Something
say,
similar to
you,
this.
You told me I could never let you down. I love you, Daddy. He didn't say that, but he basically said it.
Yeah.
Like he called this man father, not the nigga. It's crazy.
Okay.
And then what did after he said, you know what? Pusha T went on Joe Budden and said, you know what? It wasn't Kanye.
Defamation.
Your producer. It was your guy. The one that you
The nigga
like
was
are
super
so
villain, bro.
close
That was
to.
Right.
corny.
He pulled the craziest move, and
Yeah,
what
Yo, Pusha
nobody
T is a mob.
not
boss, bro.
anybody else said
Love
anything else
T,
after that.
bro.
40 didn't defend himself. Pusha didn't defend himself.
40
He
don't
made
talk.
everybody go. You know what? We gonna go home. After
40 don't
I
talk.
think
good.
you're making good points. I think we're just talking about everything but the music. I'm saying
It's not only
that
about
these-
music though.
Yeah, it's impact.
It's impact.
It's not only
called
about
the
music.
impact
He made
of the
Drake-
project.
This
He
right
made
here
Drake
was
shift his album.
Drake was what? I mean, at this point, Drake is like, I'm running the game. Like
Bro,
it's me.
Daytona, I mean, you gotta talk about the
Who else
production
dropped at
behind
this
on it as
time?
well. I mean, they brought a different Kanye back.
Okay.
We low key was like,
Did
all
that
right,
start
the hat's
the
not red
7
anymore. It's
album
kind of
run?
pink.
It did.
So here's
No,
my
what-
question.
Was it the first one?
It seems like we all like
That's
Daytona.
one.
Is Daytona going to be our first album unanimously voted for top 10 of the decade?
Unanimous.
I'm not gonna vote against
I
it
think-
at this
oh.
point.
All right, Daytona's in. My next question is because of the internet in?
I
Wait.
want it to be in, but I don't know
Wait.
why.
Where?
So this is the thing.
Because of the internet, the Childish Gambino.
Because the internet is probably the most comprehensive thing on here, but if we're talking about reach, because I hear reach coming up a lot,
Yeah.
I think because the internet really only showed the world what Donald Glover could do and put him in better positions to do other cooler shit. I don't know if it influenced things
I think
outside of that.
I think it was one of the albums in a certain time period of rap, right, that allowed people to be a little bit weird, right?
It was experimental.
Experimental. It took away the ness that you had to be hard, right? The confidence to go against the fragileness of masculinity in hip hop. That's why it should be there, and the fact that most people don't know that it's a screenplay. So
Sure.
you read it, listen to a song. Read it, listen to a song. That is beautiful.
And as
Alone.
far as him being, like, talking about the hardness of, hip hop and whatnot,
Right.
this dude's from east side of Atlanta. It's one of the roughest parts you
Right.
can be at. So that juxtaposition alone is like, come on now.
The
That's
point of contrast back and forth is, I think, is amazing.
it's crazy.
I love it. If it makes it or not, it don't matter to me. But I do think it's worth the conversation to have him on here. It's that battle against masculinity and toughness in hip hop. That's a hard battle, man. And to be able to do that and get the numbers he get what he got from that album and become who he is from that album, that changed everything, the trajectory for him.
But do you feel like that? Do you feel that he got where he got because of the internet, or was it an amalgamation of things? Because I feel like Donald Glover has just incrementally gotten more famous just because from little things. Like he's definitely the definition of don't give up. Like literally just little things here and there, literally just from because of the internet to Atlanta
Cul-de-sac.
to what he,
Cul-de-sac.
coldest. I mean, going all the way back to cul-de-sac, going
Yeah.
you know
Campfires.
to camp to this, and then Redbone, and then This Is America. There's just been he's had great landmarks, but I don't necessarily know if because of the internet, as an album, if we break it down, like
I think the rollout was beautiful.
the rollout was.
So you're saying all that other stuff is basically bigger than that album?
I feel like
But
Right.
I don't,
or it means more to his trajectory.
The sum is greater than its parts.
Of
But is
the
that
decade.
album like that trampoline bounce that like pushed him up? to
100%.
everything?
Yeah, it is.
100%.
It is, but I don't think that.
Does it make the decade? Is the real question.
Does the bounce make the
Does it
decade?
make the decade?
Who's voting yes?
Any votes for yes?
That's crazy.
that's a hard one to answer. I even put it on the list, and I don't even know if I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
vote yes or no.
I don't know.
It's that gray
But
area for me.
I guess if it doesn't have a yes,
Then that's
It's
a
a
no.
definite
then that's a no.
All right, so because of the internet does not make the top 10 albums of the decade. All right, Pat, we're gonna kick it off to you. What albums should not make the top 10? Give me a couple.
We're looking. The Sun's Tirade is Irish Shot by
Sorry.
Swimming, Mac Miller by Whack World, Tierra Whack by.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, I can.
Let's talk about-
I can go.
Is there another Freddie Gibbs on here?
Hard
There's
going
two Freddie
Freddie
There's
Gibbs.
two Freddie Gibbs.
One of those Freddie Gibbs gotta go.
I think both can go.
Flower Boy by.
Okay,
No,
wait,
absolutely not.
Patrick, you shooting. God
Whoa.
damn it. Hold on.
You told me to shoot.
I was,
told me to shoot.
You're right. That's my fault.
They're checking in for you right now.
Let's talk about the
the
Sun's Tirade. Is anybody for the Sun's Tirade, or can we all just kind of get that out?
Love
'Cause-
the album, but it's gotta go.
Yeah, I think so too. Any votes for yes?
I mean,
No.
I'm gonna be on my ship by myself. I don't give
Yeah.
a fuck. I love that album.
That's
The album's
cool.
great.
I love
I
the
think
album
it's
too.
the second best album out of TDE, honestly.
Better than them.
Better than Damn. I do. I feel that TDE was able to blossom out, and they did a lot of different things, but Sun's Tirade really came out of nowhere. I don't think it got a lot of the recognition that it deserved. We have a song with somebody literally rapping toe to toe with Kendrick and What's Wrong. I don't think that we have any other evidence of that outside of that song. The sequencing was fantastic. It was a beautiful blend between soul and jazz and drum and bass and trap music.
It's a great album.
It's a great album, but is it top 10?
Absolutely not.
Okay, Isaiah Rashad, you out here.
The eulogy.
That was a good eulogy.
Swimming. Patrick Hughes mentioned swimming. Why swimming should be off? I don't know.
I didn't like it.
I didn't listen to it, so I don't fucking know.
was
I
not
don't like Mac
fucking
Miller.
with
R.I.P. though.
I think that Swimming is a great album. I think it's a perfect album, as I said a little bit earlier.
Perfect
album.
I think it's a beautiful record. However,
Are we doing it because he did? Like, are we
No,
gassing
it's,
it because
it's,
he
a-
No.
it's actually
Okay.
a beautiful album.
it's a
for
beautiful,
sure.
it's a beautiful
For
record.
sure.
But I do think also you could probably find 10 albums on here that's better.
Yeah.
And
I don't
have bigger impact.
I think
but
it needs
I do
more
think
time.
I won't be heartbroken if it doesn't make the list, but the approach to using his voice in different aspects, I think is on a rap album is huge. It's some Kanye shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
Honestly, the ability to use a voice as an instrument, that's very rare in hip hop, and it's huge. It's a huge success.
It was.
Huge
it was
success.
a big success, but the
It's
success
a big success.
is it the kind of parameter for an album being top 10?
Part of it.
So I think for top 10,
Critics' choice, it's one of if you look, anything you've read about in critics, it hits that top 10.
But you
It
know,
does.
we can't
at
talk
least 60% of the time.
Are there 10 albums on this list better than that? Than
Yes.
that?
Yes.
but there are
It's
albums.
bias.
Okay.
Always
There-
bias.
If there are 10 albums better, then we gotta go. We gotta kick it off. So, voting. Yes for Mac Miller. Raise your arm. That's one for Mac Miller. Sorry, Mac, you out of here. Flower Boy's interesting. Anybody pro Flower Boy?
Fuck yes. 100%.
So we got one pro Flower Boy. Bye bye, Flower Boy.
I'm gonna sit here and argue this one. I'm not going down easy on that one.
Eulogy.
Facts. Why should it not be there? Let's go there. You're gonna say no. Give me a no.
What?
Why shouldn't it be there?
I didn't like it. I'll do it again.
That's bias.
I'm gonna play the
That's
violin
opinion.
for you,
That's
I
opinion.
feel
so you can get this out of here.
This isn't Pink Fridays. This is a real good
Yeah,
album.
the same. That said Pink Friday
It
should be
was
in the
a-
top 10.
I mean, for me personally, I guess what would prevent me from arguing for it, because I'm Flower Boy is an album on here that I don't want to necessarily argue against, but I have a hard time arguing for it because there's other albums that I would rather argue for.
He did the project himself.
Yeah.
He took off how many years to study composing?
Is that the
to come back and
sounding
compose?
joint?
The what?
This the one that sounds like
No,
Pharrell?
that's Igor.
Igor is definitely.
But this is kind of like this album changed the trajectory of Sonics in hip hop, right? Things got much more soulful without samples. Beyond this point.
You think Tyler had that? You think Tyler is?
Fuck yes.
Me personally,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think
I don't
about
think that was that.
That is one of the best written music. Don't take away the
It
vocals.
is.
The best music.
That's the one that
in
went
hip-hop.
up against
And he
Khaled,
did it
right?
himself. Yes.
Okay.
And he did it himself.
That's good.
There's no producer. It's a single person.
I mean, it counts for something, but I mean,
Are there 10 albums better?
What 10 albums you think in here better than that? Because
Well,
as
we'll
far as
find
I'm
that out
concerned,
later.
no, because we're gonna cut
No,
down.
we definitely can.
Saba can go.
We can't win it out.
Both Freddie Gibbs can go.
Oh no.
Chance can go.
I
Astroworld can
I
go.
like this energy.
Astroworld can go.
But to see like the same reason why you would argue Flower Boy is the same reason I would argue.
Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes! Eyes!
Let's kick it off to Donya. Donya, what project should not be on the top 10 right here?
I'm about to get hella smoke for this. I'm not voting Astroworld, Travis Scott.
I bet you, I'm with you on that.
I'm just not.
I got
Why?
your back. I got your back.
Why does not Astro? Why does Astroworld not
I mean,
deserve to
I
be
feel
top
like it's
10?
impactful right now, but like if you go back to
boy.
his other two albums, like yeah, you'll get plays, but to me, it's not hitting for me like to be like, oh yes, this is on my top 10 right now.
they ain't see the Instagram.
Is Astroworld even Travis Scott's best album?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because
Instagram?
it's sicko mode?
No, it's just elevated.
That whole
Astro
last
Thunder.
half of that album
Astro
with
Thunder
Astro
on.
Thunder,
Starting with
that,
Astro Thunder.
Astro Thunder?
that
It's crazy.
sequence is
Okay.
fantastic.
I
That's
say it all the
single.
time.
Hold on, wait. Go ahead, Donya.
How many more? Because that's one single.
You got Astro Thunder. You got Yosemite.
Because you're a
got-
single head right now, so
Sicko mode.
you know what I mean.
I'm
That's a
just
single.
saying.
Stargazing.
That's cool. I'm not saying the album is not.
What is it
you know
going
what
to
I mean?
do in time?
In
Do you
time.
think it is a moment and it's doing well in this moment? Is that
No.
album going to?
It's a
Transcended.
sonic.
He
I'm
performed
about-
it at two of his fests.
He literally.
So if you think
That's
if you're
dope.
claiming him for the Sonics, then you're already lost the conversation.
But not
Because
just
Long
that.
Live ASAP is literally, if that didn't come out, then that wouldn't come out. And if we really want to give it to it, the
Anybody
Raiders
did it.
clan created that texture. So
Anybody
Astro
did it
World's just
first.
chasing off of Raider
Anybody
clan
did
in
it
fucking
first.
Texas.
Wait,
I don't think that
wait.
Astroworld and Long Live ASAP are the exact same
It is the
lane.
same
but-
mix of textures.
I think he has a great point, and I feel like we should get him saying this. Like, just tell
Instagram.
him.
It ain't about it did it first. About it did it right. Is that what you're talking about?
It's about who did it right. It's about who did
Okay.
it best. It's who got that shit like together.
He had
Well,
two
put that shit
national
together.
tours off of that album.
Off
Like,
one
that's-
album, two
that's-
tours off
It
one
was a
album.
great album, but is it of the
The
decade?
tour does not.
Is it of the
Absolutely.
decade?
Is it
Absolutely.
music,
Is it of
or-
the decade? We
or
have to
is it
keep it in
because it's so
context.
hot right now and it's like, oh yeah,
No.
Travis Scott.
If it
everybody loves
makes it
Travis
on the
Scott.
list, it needs to be 10.
Travis Scott and the lead-in to Astroworld and the aftermath of Astroworld has helped drive the biggest hip hop festival in the nation over the last 3 years.
What festival is that?
Rolling Loud.
Oh.
So with that,
Have you been on Rolling Loud before? Are you an
A few
artist?
times.
A few
Oh,
times.
Okay. Who's that?
a couple times? So and I've seen the
So we're
impact.
going based
that,
off of festivals.
I mean,
That's
think
a
it's-
We're
machine.
going
Hold
based
on,
off
hold on.
his
If we're-
album
I feel like
to
we're
put
going.
impact on his festivals.
I just feel like
If
we're going
festivals
off of
isn't,
everything.
then why is Tyler not on there if we're gonna talk festivals?
Honestly, I think
Fog
if
Nine
you're
is
just
the
gonna
top
keep
10 in the
shooting,
Tyler
world.
Gone.
if you're just gonna
And
keep
it's his
shooting
festival.
against it, I mean, we could keep talking about more things. I mean, it sold a lot. We're gonna talk about that.
Random
Number-
nominated.
it was number
Nominated.
one for a
It was the-
while.
It is
Yeah.
the
So-
biggest budgeted rap album, the top
Exactly,
5 biggest
exactly.
budgeted rap albums.
When
you first
if
hear
you're
it,
not
does it not
hitting
sound
numbers with
mainstream?
millions
He's
and millions
bring-
of dollars behind you, then you just fucking suck.
He's
if
bringing-
you're halfway decent with that label backing you,
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna do
the,
numbers.
but the album's just.
But
He's a
It's
great
good.
performer. That's why he does
I
well.
don't even think he's that good.
His
of a
albums aren't
performer.
good,
But he's
So-
performing
so
on the
I-
record.
So we should disregard him because his performances. then?
No, his performances are phenomenal, but the fact that is that he gets what he gets because he does well on stage. His album is not as good as
Does
what
that
he does
not
on
count
stage.
for anything though?
It
If we're
does. He's a
talking
great
about
performer.
He does.
He's a
yeah,
great
but that's
performer.
a part of. I think that's a part of this. We're talking about everything all encompassing. I think that should count a lot. To be fair, because there's not too many people that's doing it like.
I mean,
him.
if we're talking great performers, and that's Tank and the Bangers should be on the fucking list because they're one of the
Nah,
best rap.
yeah, but
That's
it's
the-
not
I mean,
gonna-
not saying they agree it should, but that's the same argument.
false equivalency though.
I mean, Tyler Creator is one of the best
Didn't-
rappers performing ever.
There's
Did it
that
not
too,
sound-
but I mean,
Did it
that
sound
was-
mainstream at all when you first heard it though?
No.
Astroworld?
I
It
mean,
felt very mainstream.
Astroworld to me
It
just
is-
sounded
yeah,
like
but
they
if we-
were-
When
but
you
if-
first heard it,
hold on,
it's
but
a
if
it
he-
felt
of what
mainstream
existed
because
prior.
Hold on, but if he
felt mainstream
creates the
because
mainstream,
Travis was mainstream.
I was about to say,
Exactly.
if he creates
He
the
created
stream,
the mainstream.
I don't think that's
He did.
fair. I
Do you
think
think
honestly,
so?
We
honestly,
can't
and
punish
I-
him for like.
No,
yes,
I'm not
from
trying to
being
punish him. I'm just saying,
I'm not
like,
saying you're wrong.
this is how mainstream.
Why did he create that mainstream?
honestly, dude, what I feel
What's the
about
idea
it,
behind that?
what I probably say is, as far as
I'm right here. Oh,
my favorite parts of Travis, just in general, I would say that I was a huge fan. I'm always a huge fan of Kanye, but then
What's his name?
Kanye West.
Oh yeah.
But like those lines get blurred a lot when you're thinking of Travis, because a lot of Kanye is in Travis, so you'll end up thinking like, oh,
Right.
this is Travis copying Ye, but it's really just the other way around. So we
In
talk
a lot
about
of
who's
instances.
What?
Whoa.
Like, hold the
no,
fuck
no,
up.
no, I'm just being serious.
Until
Just
the
being
last,
honest.
until the last 2
from
years,
Cruise-
Travis
from
was-
Travis was a big component of Yeezus.
Bro, until
from
last 2 years,
Cruise
he
Summer
could've been
on,
doing ASAP and no
from
one
Cruise
gave a
Summer
fuck.
on,
Just
from-
like him, sounds just like
from
him.
Cruise Summer on, I mean,
He was
this
a-
was all Travis
He was
in
a big
Ye.
driving point of
First
Yeezus.
of all-
So
Hey,
if
I
we're-
think it's
What?
important to keep this conversation in context.
albums.
So we talking about top 10 albums of the decade.
Talking about
Does
albums.
Astro World,
Get upset.
front to bottom, make the top 10?
I don't think
believe
it's. I don't think it's got to
Let's
skip.
put the vote.
Not for me.
I don't think it's got to
Let's put it to
skip.
a vote, my brother.
All right, we're going to the vote. All those in favor of Astro World, please raise your arm.
It's gonna be
1,
3.
2, 3.
I raised it too.
Majority rules. Astro World has entered our top
Ignorance is
10
bliss.
albums of the decade.
Ignorance is bliss.
All right, so I want to move on to Kendrick, because Kendrick is one of the
It's
3
okay,
artists
brother.
on our list that have had 3 albums on the top 10 that you guys voted on. So the 3 albums to just go over are Good Kid, Mad City, are Damn, and To Pimp a Butterfly. So right now we already have To Pimp a Butterfly on here, and if we're going by the precedent that we already set with Drake, that means 2 albums need to go from Kendrick? Or does Kendrick deserve to have a couple albums on the top 10?
I wouldn't be mad if all 3 stayed.
You would be, or
Wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
Right.
I wouldn't
I think I might have.
necessarily.
I put 2 on there.
I wouldn't
I put
be.
2 on mine.
But I lean.
They're there.
I put 2 on mine as well.
Okay, that was easy.
It almost goes biased, but
Yeah.
greatness is greatness, and you can't ignore it.
Greatness is great.
It's like he just gets better.
So
Yeah.
Kendrick will
Sorry,
have
but different.
3
It's
albums.
weird. It's all right.
I mean, if I had to vote against one,
One?
I could, but I don't. I'd rather not.
So we won't keep it on there.
Yup.
For now, let's keep them on.
Let's
let's just say he's safe for
I
now.
think that was
Yeah.
easy.
Okay, all right. 3 Kendrick Lamar albums on the top 10.
I think
Let's
that
move
was-
on to Kanye West.
There's
He's our
somebody else
3rd artist with 3 albums.
Oof,
We have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy,
That's a
my
lot.
personal favorite.
That has
Wow.
to stay.
Yeezus, and the collaboration with Watch the Throne with Jay-Z.
All 3.
Are we going to say, now remember there are only 10.
So if we do all 3, then
Yeah,
we're-
that's a lot.
but we can
It's
keep
a
them, and
bloated
then we can
list.
cancel out
This is
later.
why.
We can
This
keep-
is why we
Yeah.
don't think about these.
I think
things.
Watch
Why we
the-
don't do it.
If one had to go, Watch the Throne has to go.
Yes.
I love the album.
I'm sorry.
I love the
Watch-
album. So don't get me wrong.
And you know
But
that
what
ain't gonna-
Watch the Throne did
But he said out of
did
the
not
3.
change music.
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Eh,
I'm surprised you didn't
There's a
argue that you're not
top
arguing.
10.
What did it change?
Hey, y'all. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, good. No, what changed? What did it change?
How we delivered music. Because remember they had that
The
it was
rollout?
the rollout, but
Yeah.
it didn't leak. It was delivered directly to iTunes
First,
So
no physical.
But I said if
first.
one has to go,
If one has
Yeah,
to go,
if
but
one-
yeah,
it
but,
has to be that
But
one.
it did change how
The impact through the music,
how
though,
we
it was-
how we actually take in music because that was unprecedented.
And
at the
then
time.
even
Top
even
10.
then, if we're just taking it in a vacuum, like honestly,
it's not in my top 10.
we
I'm
talking
just saying.
about
yeah.
I'm just saying.
2 at the time. If you just take everything in a vacuum, all things considered, 2 of the biggest rappers, one of them being the biggest rock star on the planet, and they got together and just sat down enough to give you 15 tracks. Like that there alone is unprecedented. The tour, the
It's always
fashion,
crazy. The fashion,
I mean,
the videos.
like he was putting us on these designers that was crazy.
yeah. It didn't
I
have
mean-
Guilt Trip though.
You're right. I mean, they was doing niggas in Paris like
How many times?
50 times in a row.
I think the record is like 25 to I think it's 25, 26 times they performed one song.
I know.
I mean, it was my caption
One
when
song.
I went. Like I had to do it.
It's still the caption now.
I'm not arguing
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
don't think it's almost a perfect project, right? But I think if we give him 3, our top 10's done.
So the question is, does Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar both have 3 albums?
No, man.
Yes.
That's a
Yes.
total of 6 albums in the top 10.
That's
No.
Yes, this is why we
crazy.
shouldn't. Yeah, yes.
No.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Kanye West. He's my favorite artist. I'm okay with keeping those 3 albums. I just want to make sure that you guys are okay with keeping.
I'm not
3
too sure. Can we go to a different?
We'll leave it for now.
Leave it for now.
Leave it for now, and then we'll come
He's
back
an
to it.
untouchable.
So who's
He's
coming?
untouchable.
So who's coming off?
Tier whack.
There's one.
As much as I love that project,
Yeah, I guess.
it can go.
All agree with Tierra Whack? Shout out
Yes.
Tierra Whack. Whack World. I just watched
Yes.
the album yesterday. It was really cool.
Shout out to her.
Bye bye Tierra Whack.
I'm actually confused.
Can we talk about Chance?
He wants to talk about Chance.
It's like,
Yeah,
what's
let's
that?
I would
do it.
like to go ahead and Chance affiliate.
Okay.
Saba.
Okay. I didn't listen to it, so I can tell you.
Amazing album.
It's an amazing
Amazing.
album.
But is it?
Not top 10.
All right.
I think it wraps circles around Chance for sure.
Facts.
And
Yep.
I think with what's left, so
But
we
Impact's not
have
there.
Love Live ASAP, we have Bandana and Pinata, we have Forest Hills Drive, we have 444, we have Indica, we have Cudi, and Man in the Moon.
Fayetteville's like my second home. So I love Cole.
I would take Care for Me over a lot of those albums, to be honest.
That's personal opinion.
That's personal opinion, but everything that we're doing is personal
Of course.
opinion.
Yeah.
You know,
I love
but
Hove,
just-
but Hove could probably go.
But looking at
Yes.
the actual
Yes.
rapping
Yeah.
and just pure technician, like Care for Me's beat selection, the rapping, the infusion of jazz, the
It is
singing,
a
the storytelling.
beautiful album, and is one of my favorite in the past 5 years. But he has not done anything to it. Numbers, tours,
Yeah, there's no
rollout,
impact.
any impact,
No impact.
To go with the
Yeah.
album that dictates it should stay.
Yeah, and a lot of our precedent has been around kind of sales, but also impact.
Right. It
I-
has to
So
have something
if
to
that's
do
the argument,
I just want to give it to you.
And I will give it to you 100 on
Shout out to you, Saba.
amazing album.
salute. You
Goodbye.
gone, brother.
Hate to see you go.
All right. I do want to
Not
talk
good.
about Chance the Rapper because Chance has 2 albums on here. He had
None of them
Fuck
are
both of
actually
those
albums.
albums.
we have Acid Rap
That's
that
why-
came out in 2013,
Not
and we
an
also have Coloring Book that came out in
Fuck
2016.
Both
outta
of those
here.
are disqualified because they're not actually albums.
I'll fight for Coloring Book.
I will not.
I'll give you the eulogy.
It's not. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that might have been the first. I don't think that's the first one that it won a Grammy. I know we're not talking about Grammys, but I think that's worth noting. A mixtape that won a Grammy.
give you that.
I think there was no physical copies. It was like literally all streaming, so no downloads. That was kind of unprecedented, and it charted.
Incredible
top
grassroots.
10. And to be honest, like I wasn't the hugest Chance fan, but I did listen to that one. That was probably the first one I really digested, like as a whole, and I thought it was pretty damn good. I mean,
It's a great album.
Yeah, I think
But it's a mixtape. Someone brought that up.
Mixtape.
And he's right. It's a mixtape.
if they're both mixtapes or
And
being
both-
said
and
as
if that's the argument, it could dip.
His-
but-
Exactly.
but-
His one
That's the
album.
argument
If that's the
here.
argument, it
That's
could
Does
the
dip.
not
argument
belong
here.
here.
'Cause
I
The Big Day.
Yeah.
although
I'm pretty much not a fan anymore because of that album. to be
100%.
honest.
Wait, I know. Guess what? You
Which-
weren't a fan already. All right.
Wait,
Let's not talk about.
Oh, you
that.
weren't a fan after
you
Coloring
weren't a
Book?
fan?
No, the new album.
although
Oh,
Col-
yeah,
Big
me
Day.
neither.
The only album.
Keep it.
although Coloring Book
Yeah.
is
But because of
considered
Chance,
a
we do have
mixtape.
Starship
The
Jericho.
only. Sorry.
So
There you go.
Although Coloring Book is considered a mixtape, I think when we talk about impact and influence, it deserves to be in the top 10.
Nope.
To
Nope.
me,
For album.
it's a
In
lie.
my
It's a
opinion.
It's a lie.
Nope.
But if we're gonna talk about how it's not a mixtape or a album, then it has to go.
There's way more impactful albums
That's
if we're
what
gonna.
I think
if we're gonna-
Acid Rap was more impactful than Color Book,
Right.
but neither of them deserve to be on the list.
Yeah,
Nah,
Acid
okay.
Rap was way more impactful than.
So
that.
because they're not,
Acid Rap put a bunch of dudes in
Digested.
fucking tie-dye shirts.
Yeah, I
in
know,
rap
but I'm
games.
just saying.
Like, this is talking about
As
that
far as
trend
that
alone.
whole like off the
because they're not albums, Chance
There
the
we go.
Rapper's projects, Acid Rap and Coloring Book will not make the list.
So
I didn't take a
sad.
shot.
There you go.
I've been waiting to tie that my whole life, bro.
Sad, man.
All right, we have a few more to talk to until we get to the albums that we're gonna keep.
Man.
Let's move on to 444, Jay-Z's album in 2017, where he talks about cheating on his wife.
You can't get rid of it.
I'm a Hovenger.
You can't
get rid
I don't
of it.
care.
You can't get rid of that album.
He made grown man rap a thing. He lets you know
He's
you can
50,
be old
so
and rap.
he should.
This is 100% what he's saying. This is the first time an old guy has released an album that we were all like, wait, we might need to listen to this. Then he had the
not true, but okay.
what's
Yeah.
it? There's another old person
Hughes
that
at
we've
Renaissance
all
like
who?
10 years ago.
That's
but
not-
it.
That's 10 years
that's
ago.
not-
How old
yeah,
is he at
that's-
10 years ago?
It was grown man rap. It was.
And his subject
And
matter.
then didn't
was
no, this
different
this
this time
this
as well.
And big.
It was a
He's
big
talking-
change.
He's talking fucking credit.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen on rap. He's
Yeah.
talking credit.
Yeah, it was
Financial freedom.
it was
That
a
is
big
not
change.
a
Yeah, but it got a little
rap.
preachy. You know?
It did get. It's
The
Jay-Z.
album is. The album is.
It's Jay-Z.
You can't talk about
no.
preaching. You listen to Kanye.
Bro, he old head in
Who
us.
said- I
Like,
didn't
he's
say
OGing you. He's putting game. He said he's giving you, was it $1 million worth of knowledge for
$9.99.
$9.99? Like that, bro. the rollouts, the fucking videos.
Yeah.
And my
Yeah,
question
it
is it genuine? Because all of his
100%.
actions now doesn't seem like it was.
I don't feel like honestly.
wouldn't it be
I
genuine?
honestly don't feel like Jay-Z does anything genuine. So
Well, I don't think
Jay-Z said it himself. I'm
I'm a businessman, not a business man.
So,
444 to
that,
me.
at that point, it's like every time I feel like, man, Jay-Z's not being genuine, I go back to that line.
Yeah.
He told me.
Yeah.
I'm,
Well,
not, I'm not ever gonna
So
be
you really
genuine.
There's also
Jay-Z
no
woke up
ethical
at
way to
4
make a
o'clock in the morning,
billion.
Like, oh shit, I'm
So-
gonna write an album.
I actually don't,
No.
and I think it was trendy to talk about stuff like that. I think.
Oh, the numbers?
Nah, that was the wife
possible.
album. His
Actually,
wife
to be
made him
honest,
write it.
Actually, to be honest, I feel like it was just a marketing plan from Jump Street.
It all
Jay-Z
was.
never cheated on
no, I
Beyonce.
don't believe
They just
that.
staged a fight inside of an elevator, and then they had
It's-
four
that don't-
critically acclaimed.
But you
albums
say
out
what?
of that.
I was gonna say Lemonade was
Everything
great.
is wrestling, right?
Everything's wrestling.
Everything's wrestling.
Everything's wrestling.
But-
Everything's wrestling.
But it's a great album.
One cohesive producer, correct?
Yeah,
Correct me
no
if I'm
idea.
wrong.
Right. No idea.
That's fly to have a whole project that way. The choice of slightly
Stevie Wonder.
imperfected mix to it
Yeah.
was on purpose, which I think adds to the aesthetic.
I'm glad you're
The-
arguing all this because I'm going to argue this for Pinata.
Right. The videos are extremely powerful.
Shit, even
They are,
bandana,
They are
honestly.
powerful. If you don't say that those videos didn't do something, man,
It made people get title. Shit.
Straight
Not
up.
me.
and history repeats
Nah,
itself.
not
right?
me either.
History repeats itself, and
Yeah.
in my opinion,
What?
this album has solidified
That was
him
late,
as like
but-
our Frank Sinatra of our culture. Like
So-
he is going to be this guy to the end of his days.
Okay, so does 444 make it to round 2?
I think so.
Yeah.
All right, 444. Good job, Jay-Z. We love you, brother. Okay. Gats mentioned Freddie Gibbs. He has 2 albums on here.
Yep.
Pinata and Bandana.
I can live with Bandana not being on there because it's recent, it's fresh. It's one of those things where it's a great album, but the impact of it you can't really see. You're not gonna know. But
No,
Pinata
yeah.
is
Great albums, great production, but my argument is, do either of them albums take out Watch the Throne off the list?
yes. I think Pinata does.
Not even close.
Pinata, the twofer of Madlib, and as I said a little bit
Right.
earlier, Madlib is
In
I
our
feel
bubble, in-
Realistically though, who here's heard Pinata?
Not me.
You guys didn't listen to
My bald headed brother. I love you. You gotta go.
he does not resonate.
You do not
It does
resonate.
not resonate.
He's a geographic icon to where he is and where he comes from. But down here, he don't resonate like that. In our bubble, because we're hip hop heads, we love it. But truthfully, the rain and the ripples do not touch everybody.
All right, I just gotta say this. I think that Thuggin is the best production, hip hop wise, that we've had. That is just a beautiful flip. And there's
Yes,
a
it is.
video of him performing it black and white with Madlib in New York City. It's great. Everybody needs to watch it. Freddie Gibbs has the best breath control in the game. That's cool.
Breast
All right.
control.
I'm gonna go back and listen to this though.
Breast
It's worth a listen.
Yeah.
It's
Yo,
a
for
100%
sure
worth
he
a
said
listen.
Mad Libs. Like,
I listened
And that's the
today in
thing.
the car.
Donya makes a really good point. If we have to go back and listen to an album,
It
then I
hits
don't
the
think it should be
On the list.
Yeah,
No.
it can't be on the list.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Good
understand
point,
that.
man.
I understand that. But
All right, Freddie Gibbs. Sorry, bro. You gone. One of the most controversial albums on here, and one of the most controversial artists on here is Kid Cudi.
I was about to say, we ain't touched Cudi yet.
Cudi has 2 albums on our list.
Untouchable.
Man on the Moon, that dropped in 2009, one of my favorites. And Indica, that came out in 2013.
Just be quiet.
It's rough.
Either one of
It's
those
rough.
albums
It is.
deserve to be on our top 10 list.
I say if anyone
They make the next
deserves,
Man
round.
on the Moon.
if anyone deserves, it's Man on the Moon.
Yes.
Any
Yes.
cut
Yes.
was a perfect
Yes.
Kid Cudi effort. Like it's like a perfect
Yes.
Kid Cudi album.
Mhm.
But Man on the Moon is what really like
Yes.
that. It's that trampoline.
It changed
It's
music.
that last bounce
It
to
did.
like
It
get him
changed
up
music.
where he needs to
It
be
did.
at.
It changed me.
It's I can't argue.
I
against
feel like
Man
if
on the
you understand the impact of Cudi, like, and you're a Cudi fan, then you will say Indicud. But because if you're not, which is fine,
I
or
am a-
whatever, I'm just
open
saying.
for Cudi.
I'm just saying, good. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm
Light
like,
flex.
if you're not, then okay.
With
But
flex,
like
bro.
Indicud to me, I voted it to be on my top
It's a
10.
great album,
You feel me?
but it is nowhere near Man on the Moon.
Of
to
course.
music.
What
Of
I was
course.
actually going to
voted
argue
both.
is that the fact that I argued Astroworld onto the list. Plot twist. The reason why I voted Astroworld is
Is
because
of Cudi.
Man on the Moon is the precursor to Astroworld.
Yes.
I feel that Man on the Moon is the beginning of that particular sound, and Astroworld is the end of the decade of that sound. So
I'll give it
those
to you.
those are the two that I would argue Man on the Moon before I would end it.
I don't see the correlation between the two sounds.
What?
I don't either.
You don't see the correlation.
I mean, Travis Scott
It's
is
the
who he is
biggest
Between the
because
two
of Kid
fans
Cudi.
ever. The
He is who
whole
he is
rap
because of Kid Cudi.
the kind of offbeat, slurred rap with the singing and all of that.
I mean, I don't compare the rap style, but I think that he's influenced
There's
so
30
much
rappers
by Cudi.
before Astroworld that sang and rap at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, why the fuck is T-Pain not on this list at that?
He didn't have.
Oh shit! All
Alright,
right, let's go to the vote, y'all.
He would have been, but 3 Rings came
So
out.
are we all?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, is Kid Cudi the unanimous decision?
What do you mean? I thought we were keeping Man on the Moon. Can
Man
we
on
Man of the Moon. I'm
can we
saying.
vote?
Yeah.
Man on the Moon, yes.
Man on
Yeah,
the Moon.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Man on the Moon, yes. In the cut,
Nah.
It looks like we're voting no.
no. In the cut, sorry. In the cut. Shout out to Kid
That's
Cudi.
good music drop.
I still have one arm left that I can use.
And our last album that we will be talking about to make the next round
Whack.
is 2014 Forest Hill Drive. That was a misquote. I'm sorry. We have 2 more albums. We have 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Long live ASAP.
And TO.
Wait, all right. So how
Where's
many
the
albums do we
two?
I
have?
already said that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. No. Just get through the 2 and then we'll get through these 2 and then we're going to
Count.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So 2014 Forest Hill Drive, one of the last albums that we're going to discuss today. That'll get into round 2. Does 2014 Forest Hill Drive make the top 10?
2014 Forest Hill Drive has to be on there.
Yeah.
J. Cole is the first rapper to have an album by himself, gold platinum, no features. He went on a tour. He released the live version of the album that charted.
Yeah.
That's
arguably better than the album.
Quick question
Arguably
though.
It wasn't on
I
your
know
list.
this is not necessarily about that album though, but do you think he cooks a little bit too much on that narrative? Because the next two that came out after that was just he was kind of doing the same.
I think that's just his. I think that's just an MO.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a narrative that he's trying to create as much as.
I mean, but
it's an MO.
it's hard to ignore though.
It's hard to
And
ignore.
you don't think I definitely think he leans into it.
But what comes after the album?
Because even he did the Kill Edward stuff, which was really just him, and it was like.
Yeah, but you know, there's a certain point you have label politics. There's certain things that we don't know. Certain conversations we don't hear.
But those albums don't change what that album.
No. I know. That's why I was saying it was totally unrelated.
Gotcha.
But
it wasn't on my list because we didn't have a calibration of why, per se, what it wasn't what.
But you had it and then you took it off.
I took it off because there's other things that I wanted to argue. There's other albums I wanted to bring.
What was on my list? So I'm voting yes.
Yes.
Why was it on your list?
What do you mean? The track list alone, I had to go back and look at each album
that's the only
because
thing
I
can't
need J. Cole
remember
on top 10.
specifically.
Regardless of what album you want to
Yeah,
use.
no, it's really good.
I'm putting him on my top 10.
Right.
Because J. Cole,
I'm not really a J. Cole fan either. So.
I mean,
But I
the track list alone, like,
after that album, I'm not much of a fan anymore. But that album is
yeah.
This
great.
one's
I feel like it deserves to be on the top 10.
It's the only J. Cole album I have on vinyl.
Cool. So 2014 makes the cut. So after all of our debate thus far, we have came to a top 13, top 10 albums of the decade. I'm going to read through them really quickly so our panel is familiar with the top 13. We have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Man on the Moon, Damn, Nothing Was the Same, Watch the Throne, Astroworld, Daytona, 2014 Forest Hill Drive, Good Kid, Mad City, Long Live ASAP, Yeezus, To Pimp a Butterfly, and 444. I think this is a pretty solid list. And after a little bit of a conversation, we've actually decided to go ahead and rank our number 1 and number 2 albums. So at number 1, we got My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Is there any conversation with this?
The greatest album this decade.
Yeah, I think we all
outside
can agree.
of hip hop.
I think it's really cool that Kanye West dropped the album in 2010 and we still talking about it. And like, no artist, I mean, in my opinion, no artist has come anywhere close to dropping an album of that magnitude, with that moment, with just
any
it's
genre.
perfect.
In any genre.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So he definitely deserves number 1. And then number 2, To Pimp a Butterfly. I agree with everything that you guys said. I think it was ahead of its time, and the fact that it's still so relevant now is something very, very special. And I mean, Kendrick has 3 albums on here, and I think he deserves it. So that was number 2. So number 3.
What do we have? I would say Damn.
I don't know if I'm.
You know, I didn't even put it on my list.
Yeah.
But I could argue Yeezus.
Ooh, let's get it, boy.
I could argue Yeezus.
Let's get it.
Jesus is like a 5
it
for
is,
me.
It
on
is
this
literally
list.
minimalistic, but
Let's
in
get it.
so complex in its post-production.
Even Mike Dean, or sorry, not Mike Dean. What's old boy name?
Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin came through and stripped it even further down.
Dude, it's
Like,
incredible. The
Kanye rapped his vocals in 2 hours.
the way he creates crescendo and just weird edits and like panning vocals left and right. Music changed after Yeezus.
The horn on Send It Up.
It wasn't appreciated when it
the
came
barks on the
out.
record.
And
The bark.
without
Trip.
Yeezus,
Yeah.
that's what jumped us to give us fucking Travis Scott.
Yeah, we don't get Astroworld.
That's what gave us Travis Scott. Because that's Travis Scott involved in the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what gave us who we have. I didn't even put it on my top 10, and I regret not
What
putting it on my
album
top 10. I
have you
think
heard
that
that's
album.
been
I'm
anything
a big-
close to Yeezus?
I'm a big fan of just the emotion of it, like, you know, all the stuff
Raw.
that he was kind of going through at the time, and you could definitely feel it. Like, he even mentions it all the time, like
Blood on the Leaves.
how he just was like, this was an angry time
Yo.
for me. I was kind of going through a whole lot.
The fact
Yo,
Strange Fruit
Strange Fruit,
is on it
Blood
as a
on the
band
Leaves.
song in America, and he aired that as his first single on a performing arts. Like, that alone holds weight above most music, period. That's a band song in America. What that song represents, and him to be able to flip that and put that on that record, if it don't give you goosebumps, then you don't understand.
Yo.
Pat, where we at with it,
I'm
man?
good with it.
Wow.
I'm
Pat,
good
where we
with
at with
3
it,
for
man?
Yeezus.
And then,
Pat, where
you know,
we at with
That was
it?
on my list.
Daft Punk described it as a cube. It sounds like a perfect cube. It sounds like it's a solid thing. Like
Yes.
9 degrees everywhere.
every purpose.
It's perfect. There's nothing you can say about it.
I don't
Also,
say it's
outside of music, Impact, Red Octobers, SNL, y'all
I
know
need
that
'em.
performance?
100%.
Still
The
need
Black Skinhead performance with the
Bro.
LeBron verse still. The LeBron reference still in the second verse. Like, it's just too much. It's a perfect album.
And it showed us something in music that we don't see too often anymore, because we're all chasing this complexity, right? But as much as what is there, what's not there is important. And Kanye gave us space. He let us have space in music again. That was something we were missing in hip hop. Everything was so messy with so many instruments on top, using a million different sounds. He did something with giving you simplicity. Because really what makes it so special is it's simple, and then after the music was done, the post-production and the edits are... It's incredible, man. And there's no argument to it.
So because you guys are like sitting on the couch and you guys are 3 artists, has Yeezus influenced your music at all? Because we
Of
talk about
course.
how it influenced the other popular artists, but has
Of
it
course.
influenced?
I don't
your
think there's
music?
any artist, music, or any other form of discipline, painting, fashion, anything that Yeezus didn't affect. Period.
Yeah.
Deal.
it did.
Yeezus gave us darkness again in rap, like darkness, not angry, not street, not mean. It gave us darkness.
And now that you mention it,
When
it probably set up all his color palettes now when it comes to his fashion, like how he kind of is
Correct.
real
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Like he broke everything down,
A lot of
down
earth
to the
tones.
rumbles, down to the foundation, and said, "Here's my foundation again, and here we're gonna build this."
Using a lot of earth tones, a lot of utility,
Yes.
a lot of, just kind of military inspired, garb or whatever.
100%.
I actually worked with Uncle Luke, who had some things lifted, allegedly, from Kanye after Yeezus. Heal TV for me was a much more minimalistic project. I didn't do any production on that project. I let other people handle it and try to make it as minimalistic as possible. Yeezus affected me a lot.
And I didn't even like it at first, like not the album, but like I know when I first heard on site, like initially, I was like, nah, this ain't it. And after that first one, because this is the way it comes on. But after that, I was like, nah, this shit different.
Bro, it's
And
different.
there's been a
different.
That
lot.
hit different for me. Like, as
That
soon
shit
as it
hit.
came on, I was going crazy.
Whether you like it or you don't like it, is a singular sound in an album that you cannot ignore.
The crazy thing that the users did for me was affect the way I perform. As an artist, what it did for me was affect the way that I attack like any type of stage performance. Like after that was actually the first tour I ever been to. That's the first tour I ever been to, the Yeezus tour. So we had a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had the fucking. He had 2 mountains. He had
mask.
a mountain on top, and he had a mountain. He had
The mask.
the mask.
Shit, now that you,
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
It was
in
a
the-
play,
We
too.
played the keys on stage.
It's just-
shit, now
just
that you
like-
even mention it, like it changed. It might have changed the fucking merch game. Like
Change everything.
It did, but
Yeah.
changed
It
merch
changed,
game.
like,
Changed everything.
no one gave a fuck about merch
100%.
before that. Really, like the Yeezus
Changed
merch. You
everything,
check on
man.
eBay and try to get you a Yeezus merch shirt
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
Right
They
now.
did the collab with Pac Sun that had
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
had
they did.
Yeah.
the concert
That-
merch
that
actually
shit
in
went.
the stores.
That shit
you
went
get.
crazy.
So
That
it's
shit is nuts.
that album honestly the fact that we don't have it higher, I mean, it's whatever, but it's still.
You think it's
Stage design.
Number 3 for
Yeah.
sure.
Now, Donya, you being a DJ, do you ever play Yeezus in your set? Like, is that
I feel
something
like
that
I
connects?
would, but I feel like it's a personal preference.
Mm.
I feel like people either love or hate Yeezus, and I feel like this group loves it.
It's
They
the
appreciate
most
the art of it,
divisive
but there's a lot of
album on
people who can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
not for
a lot of
nothing. He said
commercials.
like on site, like I either can play that and there's some real fucking Ye fans that's gonna go crazy.
It's gonna hit or it's
you know
not.
what I mean? Or exactly. So I feel like I would if I'm in my comfort zone and I know like I'm gonna go off. But if I'm somewhere that I know I can read the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't. I feel like there's hits on there that I can play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They got the one with Chief Keef. You know what I mean?
good song.
I'm
Blood
in
on
it.
the
You got
Leaves. I
King
feel like
Louis
I
on
can
there,
put
too.
that. You know what I mean? I can play
Send It
certain
Up
hits
is
on
a
there, but I
bop
can't play like
forever.
verbatim track for track.
Yeah, but does that mean
that Cudi
anything
feature
as we
crazy,
rank
too.
Yeezus it being number 3? Does it mean that because a DJ can't play just a song
Absolutely
and let it rock,
Yeah, I was
Absolutely
gonna
not.
say.
does that mean something?
No, because I feel like even then you can still play Blood on Leaves anywhere.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
goes.
You
That
can
was
play Blood on
gonna
Leaves
be
and it'll go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can't play
Anywhere.
off site anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Blood on Leaves you can play.
That's
do
what I
have-
said.
But
Anywhere.
you could argue that half the album you can't play. You know what I mean? And it's 10
That's fine.
tracks.
But that's fine.
There's no rules anymore.
But
Yes,
then again,
there's no rules.
But then again, different mediums for different places. I know different
Where
shit.
do we rank?
Shit,
I mean, this is the thing.
Honestly,
shit hit different in a strip
You
club
can
than
even
it
play-
hit in your
Butterfly.
AirPods.
You don't even
The
have to
only
play
thing
a
that you're
minute of a
playing
song.
maybe in the club on
Hold on,
Tip of
hold on.
Oh,
Sorry, guys. What'd you say though?
you don't even have to play a minute of a song. I can go and play, you know what I mean, 45 seconds, 30 seconds of a song, and somebody could get instantly hype just off of that.
That moment.
high.
You play that intro to Bound and
yeah,
see what happens.
Bound will do it.
Just that little
Exactly,
go.
and then flip. And, you know what I mean? Whether it's a whole
And the
track
video
or
was
not,
stupid.
it's still an
But I
impact.
don't
The
think
video
club
fucked up.
playing or party
Yes.
placement of a record should ever have to do with its greatness.
Yep.
Because then
Yep.
for To Pimp a Butterfly, the only thing that you really have on there in the club is All Right.
King Kunta.
Hard,
Eh.
and then it's like
Right.
really,
It
you
depends
really
on-
want to hear all
West
right in the
Coast-
club. Like,
West Coast is gonna
Yeah.
pop
But
it all day.
that's for real.
I'm not popping no bottles, to all right.
Don't remind me.
I mean, does Daytona have a club right there?
Daytona
No.
has no club records.
No.
All right.
None.
And Daytona's
Zero.
incredible.
Yeah.
So top 3: My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Yeezus. Number 4. Anybody want to step up? Talk about number 4.
Yeah, I'm still on my damn camp. Like, I really love that record. I mean, he is still touring that record in South America.
I'm not disagreeing with you on damn.
He's doing a world tour, unbeknownst to a lot of people in America. On Damn.
You can play that whole forward, you can play that whole backwards.
You can
like,
play that's what I'm
however
saying.
you want to play
There's
it.
an actual like marketing campaign for that album backwards.
I was at the tour
They
too, so I'm
released
a
it
little
backwards.
impartial to it. So it was
As much as I like Damn,
that shit was dumb.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be at 4, but you don't think there's other albums out here that are more impactful
Pick one.
than Damn?
Pick one.
Man on the Moon is a
No.
more impactful album than Damn.
I don't see it.
How so?
I don't see it.
You
Because
It has the impact, but I feel like the
it
quality
has
of
a
music.
cultural impact.
I
but
feel like
a
the quality of the
sales
music
impact,
is just not there.
critical
So it's more
impact
niche.
towards- it's
Yeah,
more
100%,
niche. It's more.
100%.
look, man. Day and Night came. That changed everything.
It did.
You can't argue Day and Night. There's not a record on Damn that changed the way music was made in hip
The
hop.
singles, man.
They're great songs. They're great
Humble?
hits. But hits are
He's right.
Loyalty.
No,
No,
individuals.
You can't. You
Day
can't.
and Night
you
changed
can't.
everything.
You can't
bro.
top Day and Night.
But day and but okay,
Day and
so
Night
one
changed
song to a whole
everything.
album.
No.
Cudi made
That's-
psychedelic
No,
a thing in hip
yes,
hop.
kind of.
He
Day and
literally
Night.
created progressive hip hop. Like Cudi changed everything. Flows. The fact the way people kind of sing. That's Cudi, bro.
That's T-Pain.
No, it's a lot that
T-Pain
goes
is
in
not
it.
a rapper.
But there's a lot that
He's
goes
a
in
rapper.
it.
He's a
Yes,
rapper.
that's
That's
a
Yes.
He is.
Yes, thank you for
Pretty good
There's a
album.
lot that goes
You
into
fit-
rappers singing on it now. So it's like I can't give that just purely to Kid Cudi.
I can't.
I think the
Nelly.
the blending
Cut it out.
of genres and transcending hip hop itself.
Always working, baby.
It changed. It changed everything, man. Like, and that's not the most successful album on the list, but it changed music. Damn did
It
not
did.
change music.
did.
Damn brought something back, right?
But I feel like the quality of the music versus the impact of the quality of the music on Damn versus
Does
the
the
impact
intricacies
of,
not matter though? Like the
what?
Man in the
intricacies
Moon
of
is like
Damn, does that
7
not
for me
matter?
on
It
I guess the
does.
question
It
is.
matters.
I guess
It
the
does
question
matter.
is because you can play Damn forward and backward, does it mean that it should crack the top
I
5
think
or
Good
not?
Kid, Mad City should be over Damned.
Oh no.
I don't know about that.
I do too.
Bro.
I might agree with you on that.
I do too.
I might agree with you.
I do
Bro.
too.
I don't.
Damn won a Pulitzer Prize.
That does. I forgot about that.
That's amazing.
The first
The
rap
first
to
rap
do
album
it.
ever to win a
That is amazing.
Yeah, he's right. That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put it at number 4.
I would put it at 4, and then if we're going on that
We're
route,
putting
then
that for
444 would be my 5.
5. I can say that.
Because
Okay.
he finally got his recognition, songwriter award, being in that guild off of the strength of 444. You know, I think that would be how I would round out that.
It's
that
just always hard for me just because I'm a big Jay-Z fan. It's just not one of my favorites.
It's not necessarily one of my
it's
favorites,
just-
but it is.
Bro,
Yeah, but it's like,
it
was
did
rapping
it's almost not even
for
top
society
half for
to
me.
me
Like,
is crazy.
it's weird.
It was.
Bro.
Like I like it, but it's just
He was
kinda
rapping.
The video for OJ, come on.
Like
bro.
I ain't gonna hold you. What was
Bro.
what Super Slimy came out? Like I was getting Super Slimy off more than 444, and I love
Yeah,
Hov.
but super, you know.
Don't what you gonna
You know
say?
why.
I feel like Man on the Moon should be number 5. Like if we were gonna put it at number 4, or if there was even a topic about it, it should definitely be at number 5.
I wasn't.
Why?
I wasn't
Is that
looking
over
at
444 to
But
y'all?
why?
No.
But
I mean, to
why?
me it is.
It was not.
I
If
actually
there
agree.
was still,
I agree
if
with
there
her.
was, if there was
I agree with her.
impact from Man on the Moon,
If it wasn't for Damn's award,
So you say you got what?
Damn shouldn't be on worst.
You got Trippie Redd off of Learn
I
You
mean,
got some
you
of your
wanna name
favorite artists.
Bro,
Travis
Let's go.
Scott.
Let's go.
Right.
Travis Scott is the
You
number
got Travis
one.
Scott. You got.
And
I
every-
have Man.
and
I
everything
have Man on
past
the Moon
Travis
before I
Scott's
have
over there.
Astroworld.
Exactly.
I have Man on the Moon before I have Astroworld. I just feel like Man on the Moon is a solid 6 for me. But I do not. I'm not mad at Man on the Moon at 5 and 444 at 6.
After?
I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
I feel
Cudi
that.
birthday generation, bro.
I think the issue.
What's the generation? though?
Which is really
Name the
worth noting.
babies. Name the
It's
babies.
worth noting.
There's a lot of babies. There is a lot of
There's
babies.
a lot of
There's a
babies.
lot of babies.
It's a lot of
So,
babies.
From XXX, Trippie Redd, Lil Skies, Travis Scott. Literally, the list goes on and on for people that were influenced by Kid Cudi. And
Kanye was influenced by Kid Cudi.
I mean,
808s
we
and
don't
Heartbreak.
get
Baby,
Yeah, we got
Hold
808s.
up, there ain't no
808s
babies.
and Heartbreak doesn't
There ain't no
happen.
baby though. Calm
Yeah,
down.
but 808s
Okay,
doesn't
but
happen
they're still
without
influence.
Kid Cudi.
And I'm right here
No,
with
no,
you.
no, no.
on the
808s
strength of the
It's not good.
But you know Kanye's biggest, and his biggest,
Cut it out. We're not gonna do
his
that.
biggest skill is
I will
knowing what
say
he's not
this.
the best at.
I
He
will say
grabs,
Yeah, that's
correct.
he grabs,
100%.
He's different
He
now.
grabs-
That's why I
He
say it.
he grabbed
100%.
producers, he
But
grabbed
But we're
writers.
speaking on babies. We're
No,
speaking on people
but-
that he birthed
but this is
and
the thing,
raised.
though.
He
Okay.
birthed
Maybe
808s and
maybe
Heartbreaks.
adopted
He didn't say
Kanye.
birth.
So if we're gonna
Maybe
talk
adopted
about
him.
influence,
Cut it out.
what has 444 influenced?
He doesn't hum.
Us to have good
Shit,
credit.
Nipsey Hussle.
I think that's a very good.
I
that's a
think
very
the
good point.
strength in
DeAndre.
society is what 444 did.
Good credit.
But
I don't
Credit.
think.
But going back to
I
what you're
just I want to say
saying,
something real quick, guys.
the
I'm
gen-
sorry. I think that 444 album. I don't think it has a lot of impact. I think it was a mirror for society. I think it was a mirror for Black people to be like,
That's
hey,
impact.
I don't know if that's
No,
necessarily.
no. That's
Hold on,
it.
It's
Time out.
impact, but it's not influence.
Disagree.
It's
Disagree.
influence. 444 did.
Self-awareness is everything.
444 made me want to get
In
my
society.
credit together.
Yeah,
But I think
did
that's
you?
the mirror if you're talking about
No.
self-awareness.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's
saying.
impactful.
Yeah.
You had the ability to be like, come on, guys.
That's the
I
thing.
did
Look at
not.
yourself.
But that's the thing. So like, it makes you want to get your credit together, but my credit's still not together.
And to be,
You know what I mean? It
and
makes me want
because
to buy
he honest-
art,
he didn't-
but I don't have.
He didn't
Basquiat.
tell me exactly how to. He
Right, he just said I
did
need
it
to do it. He's
which comes off as preaching, and we know Jay to do that. He told us we wasn't wearing Timbs no more. He told us we wasn't drinking Cristal
that's
no
So
more.
we
He,
ain't like
told-
auto-tune no more.
he said we're not doing auto-tune. He said we're not wearing throwbacks no more. Like,
And I do all those things still.
and I
He's
mean,
your
I'm-
rich
I still got my
off,
Timbs.
it's number 11. It's off the 10.
he's
That's
your
bullshit.
rich uncle. That's all Jay-Z is. He's your rich uncle that
that
won't
you don't
give
relate,
advice.
which you don't relate
Yeah.
with, telling you to get
But he
Brooks
always
Brothers
tells-
suits and you
Yeah.
can't afford it. It's like, bro, what am I gonna do with this?
He's out the game, but
I
his
disagree.
perspective is awesome because it's good. It's good advice.
And we're still
But
throwing
it's not
money at
tangible.
strippers,
I don't
dog.
think he's
Like,
out
what-
the game. He is the game.
He told us to stop
He makes
stacking
the
money on
rules,
doing
bro.
money phones,
He does it.
and everybody still did the money
I'm
phones.
still money phone.
No, what's called did the wait, we're not talking about that. I can't say that.
I'm just.
The
I'm
phone?
not sure.
With the
But
phone.
I guess what I'm saying is
So you know-
to go back to our list. We
You know what I'm
have
talking
My
about.
Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, To Pimp a Butterfly, Yeezus, Damn, and number 5 is still vacant. So it's number 5, Man of the Moon.
I think it
Yeah.
I put everything
okay.
that y'all said over 444. Whichever one's those
Okay.
ones.
So
I'm
Man
okay
of
with
the
that.
Moon, number 5.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
okay with
That's
that.
No
nuts,
question
son.
mark.
Number 6.
That's crazy.
What?
I don't know why, but that's nuts.
Well, you're
Okay,
nuts.
so what's number 6?
Relax. Destiny.
Fuck.
Number 6, we have Nothing Was the Same is still on our list.
Throw it on there.
Watch the Throne, Astroworld, Daytona, 2014 Forest Hill Drive, Good Kid, Mad City, Long Live ASAP,
Throw Drake on there.
and 444.
I think Drake. If Drake's gonna make the top 10, it should be 10.
Oh boy.
I was gonna say Astroworld, to be honest.
Yeah, arguably.
Drake's
that.
higher than Drake's higher than that.
Or that.
Drake's got the babies too.
I had
Drake
Pink
is
Friday at
just-
number 6.
Drake is like a 9 for me.
Yeah, but a lot of people just
9.
don't like Drake. I'm gonna fight.
So,
fight for
I guess
Drake
my
then.
question
Drake is a
is,
hard 7.
because we have our
Oh,
top
then we'll go
5.
7.
He's consistent.
7.
He doesn't do anything
I was gonna say 9.
unique. He doesn't do anything to be
Whatever.
original, but he is always great
Yeah.
and he's always consistent.
But they follow his
But-
trends.
No, he follows other people's trends.
No.
No, he
We
gets-
got Party, we got Bryson, and we got P&D. Or no, I'm sorry. Party, we got Bryson. We got them all off of
So
them.
all of them would have been here without Cudi.
I don't know if that works that way.
Why
I don't know.
doesn't?
I
Why
think
doesn't?
they're, I
So
think
my
they're
question
all
is-
basically off Drake. Even
Really?
if
Those
even
are
we can
Drake's
talk
No.
about Weekend.
Really quickly, really
hand.
quickly.
And we can talk about
Hold on,
Weekend.
hold on.
Really quickly, we got our top 5. Does it make sense now to go from 10 to 6? Or do you still want to keep going down?
I mean, we can do 10 to 6.
We should see what do we think shouldn't be on that listing at this point. Because there's 3 that we need to take off.
I mean, we need to put Watch the Throne somewhere.
No.
No?
Hey, can you delete the
No.
the
I
5?
don't like Watch
Yeah.
the Throne. I don't like
I
Watch
think
the
that
Throne.
I think that should be off the list.
You don't vote niggas in Paris.
Whoa.
It's an incredible song.
Incredible song, but
You just click it and then
Well,
hit
that's a
backspace.
big
It's a
debate.
good album.
Then.
Oh, those 3 together.
Man, they don't
That's a
like
big
Watch the
debate.
Throne.
Then. That's
Jeez.
a big debate.
But why
then.
do you think Watch the Throne? You were talking about fashion. Why do you think Watch the Throne?
Givenchy.
I mean, Givenchy.
The
We're talking about
Givenchy
Ricardo
rock
He
Tisci.
didn't choose the Givenchy.
No. Ricardo. He's literally friends with Ricardo.
I understand that. He was a coffee bitch for them as well.
That's fair.
Right,
I don't like.
but-
What's that?
but-
Okay.
So you're telling me ASAP wasn't wearing Givenchy then?
I'm not saying they
because
weren't, but
Yeezus
we
broke
don't-
Givenchy
we don't-
before.
No, but once again-
y'all saving the content. We're not recording.
Oh,
It's okay. We can continue
sorry.
it. We can talk over
I'm
you.
sorry.
they're recording.
Are you recording?
I would
Oh, shit.
probably say, as far as that is concerned,
Yeezus to me broke Givenchy because he wore the Givenchy.
no.
Watch the Throne.
The
Watch
cover
the
was
Throne.
Givenchy.
Yeah,
I understand
The
Watch the
cover was Ricardo.
I
No
understand.
one
No,
gave
the
a fuck
kilts
about
were
Givenchy,
Givenchy on Watch the Throne,
honestly.
too.
It's Watch the Throne.
Before then,
The Wartwaller.
they didn't
So does that
care.
mean Watch the Throne is number 6?
no.
No,
No.
it
It doesn't mean
discussing.
it just
No,
necessarily.
but we're talking about influence and fashion, and that's
Well, he asked
I
me.
asked him
He asked me
because that's his
specifically
forte.
about the.
Are we
fashion.
gonna be listening to Watch the Throne in 10 years?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Yes.
We'll pick a
Because
couple
I
I
right
still
said
have a
it
kid.
once. I
I
said it
still have a
once.
kid. And
I
I never let my
haven't
son have
listened
an
to it
ego.
since the
Wow.
year it came out.
I'll
I
say
never let my
literally
son
once
have an
again,
ego.
if
Otis.
we're just talking all things
Otis might be the
considered,
best song
we
on
got
this-
2
on
of the
these
biggest
to be honest.
artists
No.
at that time to sit down and do 15 records together. That's
It's a great concept. It's a great concept. It
yeah,
influenced
it
a bunch
is.
of joint albums, but I don't.
No, I
think-
mean, as many joint albums
not
that
better
we
than
were
Power.
promised that we didn't get.
Otis
This
is
was
better
the
than
one that
Power,
we
bro.
got and it delivered.
I think off the list.
It changed the rollout.
And y'all know how I feel about
Hold on.
Astroworld, but Astroworld can stay. I think
Yeah, where is that?
Love Live ASAP, Forest Hills, and Watch the Throne should be taken off that
Long
list.
Live ASAP should be taken off.
I
I agree
And
with
I'll
you
give
with
it that.
that.
And even though I think it's the
I
most influential
completely
album
agree.
fashion-wise,
And I'm
it
objective.
can go.
I
It can
completely
go.
disagree.
It can
Long
go.
Live ASAP can go.
So the record.
Wait,
none
so
of
if we're
Forest
gonna
Hills,
delete
I'll
one,
keep.
hold on. If we're gonna delete one, are we deleting 2014 Forest Hill Drive?
No.
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 Are we deleting ASAP?
Yes.
Yeah,
Everybody,
That's
can we
fine.
vote for
Yeah.
ASAP?
Yeah.
Delete ASAP, yes?
Yes.
that would hurt.
Bye bye ASAP.
A little.
So we have
It
12.
does
on
hurt.
my top 10, like, that I submitted, but
Honestly,
I wrote them.
You know, being a host, I try not to comment, but ASAP doesn't deserve to be in this list. ASAP's album is nowhere near any of these albums. It sucks.
What's number 6?
Whoa.
How would it suck?
I'm sorry, he
Purple
sucks.
Swag was nuts.
What's number 6?
Yeah.
Its influence was crazy though.
Yeah.
But it should be gone.
Yeah,
If it's not
Yeah, it shouldn't be on top.
Where we got nothing was the same.
Put it up there
7.
now.
10 or 9.
7.
Ahora.
I would.
You
Now,
said
So this is
7?
the thing.
You said 7.
On a scale of 1 to 10, if I rate it,
Oh.
I give it a hard 7.
So, I mean,
Well,
I
we can
like
put it at
Nothing Was the
10. I
Same,
don't
give a
but
fuck.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go.
He's not the only one with a hard 7.
Whoa, chill.
Oh.
If it comes down to Nothing Was the Same and Astroworld,
Childish.
I'm going with Astroworld.
So
Put
right
'em
now,
both.
Nothing Was the Same is number 10. Astroworld is number 9.
9.
Yup. Sounds good to me.
Forest Hills Drive, 8.
I will point out this.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I will. I will point this out really quickly.
Say it out loud.
We can
Devin.
put
Drake has been on the charts for how many?
Not for that.
All
album.
of
We
it.
should put
Not for that
Astroworld at
album.
10.
Three
number
sets in
7.
3 years.
Daytona is a solid 7. for
3
me.
sets in 3
Yeah,
years.
I think Daytona could be, you could say 7 on for Daytona. Could be that.
So we're gonna.
I don't
skip.
think.
This look like my list.
So right now we have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy number
Nah, that
1.
wasn't on my list.
Number 2, To Pimp a Butterfly. Number 3, Yeezus.
That was
Number 4, Damn. Number 5, Man on the Moon. Number 6, 7, and 8 are Vacant. Number 9 is Astroworld, and 10 is Nothing Was the Same.
I feel like nothing was
I think
the same could go
Astroworld
up.
is pretty low.
There you go.
It's Astroworld's 9 or 10 to me.
Yeah,
Astroworld
I've,
is
I'm not gonna
I've always,
I'm not
even
gonna
on my
fight.
own
Astroworld
personal
could be
list
10.
where I nominated Astroworld was 10 for mine.
Yeah.
Like it's
It cracked it.
10.
It cracked it. I think it's important enough, and it's going to continue to set the trends. I feel like I can actually argue that a little bit more coherently than some of the other ones that I picked. But nonetheless, it's a
Well, where's
Fucking
Pink Friday?
Can we put it at 10?
20.
So you want to switch those?
a hard 47.
So does
Yeah.
9 and
Pink
10 need to be
Friday's not the
switched?
only one with a hard
Please.
47.
Okay. Number 9 will now be Nothing Was the Same, and number 10 is Astroworld.
There you go.
Yay.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah,
Success.
I'm with that. I'm with that.
All right.
Ew.
What about number 8?
You
444.
think that-
That's where we're going for 444.
I can't get it.
I mean, in hindsight, I think
444 is the
Daytona
one
is
that
a
can
better
fall
album.
off,
The
honestly.
title track of 444
I don't think
is
it's
one of
better
Jay-Z's
than
best
those
songs.
two.
Agreed.
It's not better than 9 and 10.
What,
Marcy
444?
Me is fantastic.
Marcy
It's not,
Me.
it's not better than
Marcy
9
Me
and
is
10.
fantastic.
Bro.
It's not better than 9 and 10. I don't care about none of that shit.
100%.
444 is not better than 9 and 10.
Yes, it is. I will argue it in my grave, bro.
It's not better than 9
I will
and 10.
never
What's
put
9 and 10?
Astroworld.
They're right there.
No,
It's not-
Astroworld
They can't see them.
and
They
Nothing
can't-
Was the
Nothing Was
Same
the
will
Same.
never get played by me again.
That's fine, but it's not
I'm
better
saying-
than those.
Yes, it is.
It's not even close. I don't think it, man. It's
Critics
not
say yes.
it ain't a top half of a Jay-Z album. I don't care what the critics say. I don't care what
Eminem-
people
Yeah,
say.
but are you judging him against himself? Or are you
Yes, I'm judging him
the
against
list?
himself, and I'm judging him
but
against
that's
9
not
and 10. It
but
ain't the
that's not
same.
That's not the game. The game
It
is
ain't.
judging him against the list.
You can't
The
put him up
list.
against the Black
I don't-
Album and
I
Blueprint
don't-
and
But I don't think it's better
What are
than
we doing with
Nothing Was
Daytona?
the Same or Astroworld.
So what's over
I didn't-
444?
yeah. What's
Is there
Daytona.
anything else on the list?
I mean,
And he didn't
I
even
would put
sell out those
Daytona on there.
tours. Like, what
Daytona
We're
before
not talking
that?
about that.
I'm just saying,
I'd
that's
put Daytona
impact,
before
right?
that.
He didn't sell out those
It's a good
tours.
argument, but
How
I
do
don't
we
know
feel
if
about-
it's-
sell out those
Jay-Z didn't
tours.
sell out
Don't
those
change right
tours.
now.
How do we
didn't
feel
sell
about
out those
Daytona?
tours.
How do we feel about Daytona?
7.
That could go up there.
7.
When? Where?
7.
6 or 7?
7.
So then what goes at 6?
Let's
Right.
do that 6.
Good Kid, Mad City.
All right,
Whoa.
so number 7, we're gonna say 444.
Hell,
Wait.
Wait, no.
that far
Yeah,
off.
I feel like.
No.
No,
No.
no, we said Daytona.
Daytona.
I mean, honestly, you do Daytona 6, 444 7.
Okay.
Daytona, number
Good
7.
What are we
Kid, Mad
putting
City,
for
y'all.
here?
And Mad
Wait.
City could be 8. And I'm not.
Wait,
that's
no.
what's crazy to me.
Good Kid, Mad
What?
City's number 6.
No, Daytona is way better
What's
than
left
Good Kid,
on
Mad
there?
City. I'm sorry.
That's our personal opinion.
No.
It's concise. There's no flaws. There's no weak
Y'all.
spots. There's
There's
no
no
weak ass
flaws.
Drake.
I think
verse
you're
on
saying the
Poetic
same thing
Justice.
about Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'm
there
like,
too.
Yeah,
Didn't
what?
have fucking
I think the same thing
Real
you're saying
is
about
on that album.
Yes,
That
it's
album.
about Good
Good
Kid,
Real
Kid.
is not a good song.
Real is not a good song.
Real is not a good song.
I
And
disagree.
No.
Is
I
that the
don't-
one towards the
I'm
end?
real.
I do.
I'm real.
Yeah.
I'm
It was a
really,
bonus?
Are you
really
kidding
real.
me?
Somebody please-
Garbage.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yo, this song is garbage.
I mean, but that's not even a part of the story. The story, the records that's in
Yeah,
the story,
exactly.
those ones are great.
Those ones
That
are
song's
fine.
not bad though. That's he just don't like that shit.
I don't think it's a bad record. It's just not what you want to hear.
Nah, it's just
It's
corny,
not
bro.
your palate.
What is
It's not your
number
palette, right?
6?
Good Kid, Mad City.
No, it's Daytona.
But
So-
Daytona at 6.
Let's vote it. Let's vote it.
No.
All
Back it
those
or
for Daytona, number 6, please raise your hand. 1,
Yeah, I'll do
2, 3.
You just argued.
Majority
What
rules.
the fuck
Daytona's
happened?
number 6.
No way.
Number 7.
I'm going on that vote. I'm going purely off my personal taste.
Number 7.
I'm
I
being
heard
dead
Good
ass
Kid, Mad City.
Damn, so J. Cole is not making this fucking list?
Argue it.
What the fuck? Are we fucking serious? I'm blown. Alright.
That is pretty funny though.
What the fuck? Are we serious? Y'all put
Don't even make
Astroworld
I mean,
on this
if-
shit? Yo, I'm
No, so to be honest, if we're gonna talk between
I need
444,
some air.
And then J. Cole, keep J. Cole.
I would keep J. Cole.
444 gotta
Please.
go, bruh. I don't care.
I mean,
gotta
Vote,
go,
you
bro.
gotta
No.
That shit ain't it, bruh.
No.
And I like 444.
What do you think?
I'm getting rid of nothing but the
What?
same.
That ain't it,
What-
man.
what-
It's not
Put it in my
it.
top 10.
I'm no.
444
I'm
is
blown
not
right
it.
now.
One
Okay,
phone's
vote,
gonna
that's
keep you with
fine.
your wife when you.
So my
find
question
yourself.
is-
Is it?
So it's
Yes.
3 votes for
Yes.
444.
If you buy a new ring and relocate to the West
Or-
Coast, maybe.
Or
Really quick question. So for number 7,
I'm blown.
the nomination is 444.
No.
no, Good Kid, Mad City.
No?
Okay, Mad City.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, Mad City. Number 7 is Good Kid, Mad City. So does that mean number 8 is 2014 Forest Hill Drive?
What's left? What's left on?
Honestly, I would put
Where's
2014.
Watch the Throne?
I would
Not
put
on the list.
Fuck that album. I'd put 2014 at 8, and I'd put 4 for 4 at 9.
I was gonna say, why
That was
That
cute.
I was like,
I think he's
Before
right.
we
I think
continue,
he's right.
hold on. Before we continue, for number 8, are we saying 2014 Forest Hill Drive is making it?
No.
I don't like that better
Yes,
than the
Where's
last one.
Watch the
Yeah.
Throne?
This is. I think this is what it is. I think 8 is 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I think 9 is 444. I think 10 is Astroworld.
That's what he
And Take Nothing was the same off the list.
So right now, the
Watch
list
the Throne.
is My Beautiful Dark Twisted
I gotta look
Fantasy,
back at the chart.
to Pimp a Butterfly, Yeezus,
To
Damn.
Pufferfly.
Man on the Moon, Daytona, Good Kid, Mad City, 2014 Forest Hill Drive, Nothing Was the Same, and to end is Astroworld. Do we have any objections?
Yes.
Yes.
8 can go to 10 for me. I think 2014 can
Yeah, I'm with him on that.
switch it from 9 and 10 up and move 8 down. Honestly, because I mean, and not to be funny or anything, but like he's got a couple records on there. Firing Squad, I didn't particularly care for. I thought that was corny, and Wet Dreams was super cheesy. Like, I mean, nobody cares. I don't care if it's got a star on Apple Music. Nobody cares about you losing your virginity, dog. Like, bruh. Like
I mean,
that's his stigma of his college rap that everybody keeps saying. Like he's leaning into it with the Wet
He do
Dreams.
talk
and-
about his dick a lot.
and it's like, bro, we don't care about that. We don't care about
Most
the
rappers
foot in
do.
your mouth. Like, we don't.
He talked about his dick all the time.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, but
hilarious.
that's a part of
Are you
Kanye. That's
kidding me?
his cartoony though.
It's
we
funny
know
as
he's a.
shit. It's
We take
funny.
J. Cole as
So
a
he
real
went a different
lyricist,
route
and we're
and
rapping
you're
it like
saying
I'm
that.
with you on
Yeah.
it. I could see it dropping down.
I'll be honest with you. I
fine.
think it's, again, it's y'all list. I think it's a little unfair that J. Cole is the only rapper to go platinum without features, and he's gonna go to number 10. I think that's kind of crazy.
Eh,
That's where he belongs.
I don't care.
Where's
this is the thing,
Why,
like-
why isn't Watch the Throne?
It made the list.
Okay, so then we're gonna skip.
wanna put it at
We're
10,
gonna
go
put
ahead.
2014 at number 10.
Yeah,
One
move
thing
them
to
up
me
to
and
two
Watch
up.
It Throne, why I don't think it should be on the list is it's 2 rappers. It's two greats going up against one of everyone else. So already you're gonna have an upper hand, but I just still don't think it's an album in my life that.
So when you go to Paris, the caption ain't niggas in Paris?
No,
I'm white.
Wait. Hold on.
Of course it's not.
Hold on. To be fair,
it's
I went to
NI.
Paris.
It's NI star.
I went to Paris, and that was my
What kind of question
caption.
was that?
That's what I'm saying.
Watch the
Nigga,
Throne
you
track
just
3.
said
That was my
444 should be on the
caption.
album. What the fuck? Ask that white man that question. Set his ass up.
I'm just saying though, but look, bro.
So
For
fight
niggas
for
in
Watch
Paris
the
alone,
Throne.
for niggas in Paris alone, we just argued about the Javon.
So what are you taking
Argued
off?
about Ricardo.
What are you taking off?
Ay. We
That's
can
the real
take off
question.
Nothing Was the Same or
Yeah.
We ain't doing
Forest
that.
Hills Drive.
We ain't doing that.
I'm with you on both.
Honestly,
We could
I
take
don't
off Nothing
mind.
Was the
I
Same.
don't mind 10 for
We
Watch
could
the
take
Throne.
Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah, Forest Hills Drive.
You can
Nothing
take-
Was
you
the
can
Same
take
could
J.
go off the
Cole
list
off.
for me.
J. Cole.
Honestly.
I don't want to keep it the same.
I would keep 2014
Wow.
over Nothing Was the Same.
Please.
No,
Please.
hell, you cannot have a list without
Please.
Drake, bro. You cannot have a list without Drake.
Disagree.
Why?
You cannot have a list
Why?
without Drake.
No,
Why?
it is
So-
hard to be respectable.
Let me take a
without
point of
a
reference.
Drake album.
You can't have J. Cole over Drake.
Look, I'm gonna take a
You
reference to
went
another genre of
J.
music.
Cole
All right, we're
over
gonna take.
Drake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you to another genre of music. Right? Do you know who Steve Miller Band is?
Yes.
Okay, Steve Miller Band. That's on Joker. They have probably 100 #1 singles. Right? One of the most successful
we
rock
don't know.
bands ever, and they will never be on the top anything. Right? Why not? Why not?
Once again, we talking about a false
Eagles sold more
equivalency.
records
He
than-
never leaves the charts.
Yeah.
Never.
It doesn't
leaves
matter.
the
He's
Why not?
consistent,
I think-
but he's not the greatest.
No, I understand. Maybe he's not the greatest, but you can't have a top 10. Top 10.
Who
Not
says?
top 1.
Look,
Maybe
Drake-
not top 1, but
says?
you can't have a top
Who
10
says?
without. That's a,
Who
come on
says?
now. The
Who
list
says?
Yes, Drake was
Society-
not on my
you're going
top
by,
10
you're going by
at
what
all.
society's telling you to.
No. I'm not going by society. I'm
If-
going
if-
off of just in general.
You're being a sheep.
Being a sheep.
Drake was not on my top 10.
There you go. There you go. That bullshit.
Like-
Nah, I don't give a damn. You cannot have a top 10 without Drake. Come
I
on now.
disagree.
That
I honestly,
list is.
I agree
that
with you.
list
I
is
agree.
not
I feel like we
It's
got the
not
wrong
credible
album.
Okay,
without.
okay. No. If
I
we're talking,
agree.
Push out
I
Baby
think
for
views.
first.
if we were talking,
Maybe.
artists, if we were gonna go with top 10 artists of the decade, Drake is a bona fide 2, 3, maybe even 1. But if we're talking about projects and cohesive thoughts, I think a lot of these projects, if not all these projects.
But I wouldn't
are
say
better
that
than
number
Nothing Was the Same.
10 is better.
Yeah.
But watch
Forest
the. We
Hills?
talk. Realistically, watch the throne. Where is
Forest.
that? Like,
Forest Hills is better than.
You're biased
You have
because you're a
nothing.
Drake fan, though.
And you're biased because you're not a Drake fan.
I am a
so-
Drake
We're
fan.
all biased.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not a Drake fan, and I'm not a Watch the Throne fan.
we're talking
And
about
I'll
watch the
pick Watch
throne. We're talking.
over
We're
Drake
talking
all
about
day.
niggas in Paris. We're talking.
Watch
We're
the
talking about
Otis.
like Otis. We're talking about the.
I mean, I love
Javachi
Murder the
cover.
Excellence.
We're
That's
talking-
one of my favorites.
Murder Excellence, where they both talk about.
Social political.
Like,
Like,
it's-
we
it's-
got Kanye to give us a verse. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll agree.
They both.
I'll agree 100%. I'll go back on something I
This
said
is
off
both.
of your
Both of these
arguments.
guys pre-kids. Like this is both of them talking about what they would do with their kids, and now these both are. Now we've seen it come to fruition where they all got their own families. They all doing all these things that they said they were gonna do in this record with their kids. Like it's legacy basically. Like this is the foundation from. This is where we're gonna be at from here on out.
Well,
This
slide
is what
J.
we doing.
Cole off for Watch the Throne, goddammit. Like,
I don't know, man.
You're gonna keep Nothing Was the Same.
that's a fact.
Y'all think I maybe added the wrong Drake album?
I've been said
We-
that.
It was
but-
the wrong Drake album.
Well, then
So
which one are
take
we
it off.
trading out? Views?
We're not trading shit.
Sorry.
Nothing was the same as off for Watch the Throne
Yes.
to me.
I'm
Do
with
it.
you. I'm with you on that. And
Do it.
All right, so how many people vote for Nothing Was the Same off? Switch it with Watch the Throne. 1, 2. Pat's third. Gats is number 4.
I guess.
Sorry, Nothing Was the Same.
It hurts to see it, but I
The
think
most
it's right.
streamed artist, the most billboarded chart. He got more slaps than the Beatles. It's not on his goddamn top 10 list, which is nuts. But okay.
This is the albums, it's
That's
not artists.
Yes, this
Okay.
is
It's
out.
not artists, this album.
And as
No,
far as
I
I'm
have no
concerned,
opinion.
I don't even think he's a rapper. I consider him
Oh
a pop
my
star.
god.
Because you're a pop star.
That's how I asked him. Did he
He's a
put it in the
machine
caption?
of a whole bunch
He
of
put it in his
writers
caption. He went to
and a label.
I mean, Ye's on this list how many times?
All right.
He belongs there.
He's the best producer
Yes.
ever.
He belongs
Is
there.
he?
Are there any more
Not
gripes?
beat maker, producer.
Is
Alright.
he? Ever?
That's a,
We just
on
gonna
this
pretend
list?
Quincy
That's a different
doesn't
one.
exist?
These
On
are
this
different.
list?
one. Okay.
Just
That's a
gonna
different
pretend
one.
Quincy doesn't exist?
On this list.
I'm just saying.
Are there any other gripes about this list, or is this our top 10?
Man, I got
That's
Astroworld
fancy.
on that.
I mean, I like that Watch the
Jesus.
Throne's
Damn.
back. So
Man on the Moon.
I ain't gonna argue
How
with
many
Kick Mad
were on my
City.
list?
Astroworld.
I'm gonna be honest with you. As much as I'm not a fan of Drake,
Where is Pink Friday?
I can't. It does feel weird Drake not being on the list. But
It does
I
feel
literally
weird.
argued
You're
this
right.
for how long?
yeah, you're right. But it is what it is.
No,
Argue
you're
this
right.
for
But
what?
Drake wasn't on your top 10 originally,
1000%.
right?
What,
Or
Drake?
was he? Oh, you put
This is
Views,
my thing,
right?
though.
Views is number 10 for me.
They should've been
Astroworld?
on there.
I don't think Astroworld's
I'm the
on this
host,
list.
bro. I'm sorry.
But you have an opinion?
Okay, my opinion is Astroworld does not deserve to be on this
Right.
list.
I do.
Right.
Nothing Was the Same should be in replacing
I can't-
Astroworld.
I'm not
And now you have to give
it.
it.
No, I don't. No,
There's no way Astroworld is a top 10 album of the
Look.
decade. It's just not possible.
Astroworld is a fantastic.
It's just
It's
I,
not
I
of
find
the
myself
decade.
repeating it
It's
so
not of the
often.
decade.
But
But
this
it's
nigga
not
had
of the
5
decade.
shoes on this album.
It's recency
My
bias.
favorite
It's
is-
not of the
Yeah,
decade.
not.
maybe you're
It's not
right,
of the
but I
decade.
can't not
The
stop
only,
listening to
the
that.
You
only
cannot
reason
put-
why I
you
don't
cannot
argue
put
Astroworld
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 on the
is more-
same
over
list.
Drake.
Astroworld is a more cohesive album than Drake has ever put
What I'm
out.
saying is,
100%.
That's true.
if we're looking at impact, influence, we're looking at our top 5.
The t-shirts,
My
the
Beautiful Dark
tour,
Twisted Fantasy,
festival,
To Pimp a Butterfly,
fan,
Yeezus,
we have to take into
Damn,
consideration though. Fans.
Man on the
No,
Moon,
no,
Astroworld
They-
should not be on this list.
No, I'm gonna argue that. I'm
At
gonna argue
all.
that right now. I'm gonna argue that right
It
now.
doesn't
I have all the-
deserve.
He gonna argue
has
that
two-
right
He
now.
has 2 tours that came off of Astroworld. He had a documentary that was
Not
sponsored by
good.
It was.
I liked it.
It was good.
I liked
not
it.
That's
good.
biased.
I don't
That's
like it.
biased.
I don't like him, but people love it. It has great ratings.
It has
liked
great
it.
ratings. It did
Yeah.
numbers for Netflix. He had
I'm with you
all
on
the
that.
merch
Yeah.
on there. That merch was crazy.
I bought
He
the merch.
changed the game on how merch is now sold and packaged
Nicki
with
Minaj
albums.
went off.
Nicki
because of
Minaj
that.
went off because of that. He had number 1 for how many weeks? 12
Well,
weeks.
the way it was packaged with the album.
It was
Okay.
nuts.
It had been
Sicko
done,
mode,
but
the
nobody did,
videos, all of that shit. It is transcendent. And the thing about it is granted he may not be the best rapper on the list and all that, but as far as cohesiveness is concerned, he put out a great body
It's
of work.
just some cult shit, like really,
No,
like if you see the
that-
I
tape,
disagree.
Like
That's how I
it's
feel.
like
I'm
on
gonna-
some like I ain't really trying to reach, but it's like on some Mike shit. Like
Yeah.
the way these kids is like
Yes, his
passing
fan-
No,
out,
we're not- it's cool.
they're
We-
dying. Like you know what I'm saying?
His festivals are cool, but at the end of the day, we're talking about top 10 music. And what was the other single that came from this? Sicko Mode,
Look, man,
Yosemite. What else?
I'll
we
tell you
talking
100 times that if we're talking music and we're not talking about anything else but music, the fact that Tyler Creator is not on this list is mind-boggling. So if we're gonna talk music, there is not a better To Pimp Butterfly and Beautiful Dark Fantasy are best music, but
But
Tyler Creator has better music.
Okay, but this is the thing: we don't have a calibration
Not rap's
on
music.
a thing that we're going to talk about. We don't have one thing that's grounding this conversation in anything. So at the end of the day, it's all of our
It's all
opinions.
relative. It's all relative.
That's just relative. I'm going to look at it from a festival standpoint.
Opinionated.
He has a fucking roller coaster in his goddamn show.
And
That's
he's-
crazy.
Yeah, but that's not
he's
because of
bringing
the
back-
album. That's not because of the album.
It is. He's
It's
bringing
not
back.
because of
He's
the
bringing back a
album.
theme
That's
park
his-
to Houston.
That was the rollout.
Time out.
It's the theme.
He's bringing it back.
It's the theme. It's the marketing. But it's not the
That is his
album.
marketing team.
Okay, but we've talked
That is
about.
his marketing
But
team.
how many times have we talked about
Marketing
rollouts?
is how you sell the tickets.
But how many times did we talk about
Marketing
rollout?
is
The album.
How
I
many times did we
understand
talk
that,
about
but
rollout?
marketing
Correct.
of the album. It's
right.
not because of the album.
But
It's
how-
not like, oh
Nothing
shit.
else
He
that
worked it
connects
into his
Yeah.
album.
But to be fair, if
You understand what
if
I'm
he
saying?
brings it back
If I
to the
name
city
my-
of Houston, that's insane.
No, but I'm saying if I
And
name
the
my
thing
next
is,
project Busch Gardens,
the music
then I'm
was
gonna have
synced to the roller coaster.
I'm gonna have
inside
my
of the
T-shirts
shows.
and they're gonna be Kwanzaa. What's it called? Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
Kwanzaa.
but I'm
Kwanzaa.
saying though, that's a part of it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean my
You don't
album
remove
is
it.
good.
So you
It's
thought the
marketing.
You thought the album was
It's
bad.
smoke and mirrors.
But
It's smoke and mirrors.
but
And
the album is
Astroworld-
good, and there was a,
Look, I listened to
Astroworld
Astroworld
and To Pimp a
twice,
Butterfly
and
should
I'll
not be on the
never
same
turn that on
album.
again, in my opinion.
in the same list.
Nah, but
Astroworld
we're talking
and
about
To Pimp
10.
a
If it was top
Butterfly.
20, it would be on the same
But
list.
Astroworld go though.
Astroworld is a success.
It's a
That's
go.
why we put it up there. But I am with you. I didn't even want it on the fucking top 10. Period. I thought I should have been took it off right off the bat.
But honestly,
Bruh.
if we're gonna just leave with music, is it not good musically?
It's great music.
It's great.
That's what I'm
sounds
saying.
great.
Because if we're gonna start there, it sold well. It was good musically.
It sold
The
exceptionally
tours
well.
was great.
He has a
He had the
machine
cult.
to
He
sell
got the
everything.
festival.
He got the Nike
He's
shit
got the
off.
merch. He
I'm
got
with
the
you on
Nike.
Recency bias.
I told you on the beginning,
It's
I'm
not-
not-
it's
I'm
not
not gonna
in
say
10 years.
It's
We're not
not.
gonna. We're not gonna. In 10 years, we're not
It's
gonna
not
say.
true.
I
if-
can't wait till I turn 40 and be like, yo, guess what I'm listening to
Bro,
right
but
now.
I'm saying
If
in 10
he
years
puts
we're not
that,
gonna
if
say
he
this
puts
is
that
part of
theme
a
park in
top
Houston,
10
we're talking
it's
about
not
it in
gonna
10
be
years.
Can you
Exactly.
answer me this?
He got a
It-
day.
it's
in
That's not the
true.
same with Astroworld.
Bro, Travis Scott is fucking doing his thing. I appreciate him. He's cool.
That's
I like.
hard.
It's lit. That's my favorite saying. But
It's
it's
hard.
no way he
Travis
deserves
Scott,
to be on.
Travis
Wait,
Scott
wait,
didn't
wait,
influence the
wait.
Migos or influence
Like,
Young
I have
Thug
a
and
question
influence
for
how
you.
Future's moving and influence how people are rapping and singing.
No,
He
it's
hasn't
okay.
influenced that with Astroworld.
No.
No.
Okay, so you don't want Forest Hills Drive.
It could be without it. I could be without
Okay,
it.
you don't want that. That's cool. But if you need to pick Astroworld or Nothing Was the Same,
I mean, honestly, if we go take Forest Hills,
but if we're not, I'm just giving you a comparison. Which one? Which one
Um,
matters in this top 10 to you?
I mean, honestly, for me, it'd probably just be Nothing Was the Same.
Okay,
But I mean,
so that means Astroworld
it's
would be out.
it's super close just because I cannot stop. I will never
Okay.
stop listening to
What
Astroworld.
does
I don't know.
I'm not saying opinion.
I
I'm
don't
saying
know,
opinion. What does Forest Hills Drive have over Astroworld? What does Astroworld have over Forest Hills Drive? What does Drake have over either?
I'm
just asking.
I'm gonna
'cause
keep
this
it.
is the argument
I'm gonna keep it a
Right.
buck, and this is just from someone who's like, that's hometown hero. Like Fayetteville's like second home for me, and it's like, honestly, Cole got some snooze music sometimes, bro.
does, he
Like
does.
I'm gonna keep it a buck,
Yeah.
and so it's like it's hard for me to just
But I
go
love
back.
that kind
That's
of.
fine.
I mean, sure, but
But
as
Drake
far as
deserves
impact is
that.
concerned, I mean, it's good for a flight. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if I got an 8-hour flight
car
to
ride.
Europe, like I can
Where?
go to Europe. I can put on Forest Hill and I can sleep 5 hours maybe.
So you guys prefer to put Nothing Was the Same over
No.
Forest Hills Drive?
That intro, man.
The intro's great.
Yeah.
That intro, man.
But I mean, if you,
I think Astroworld needs a
That
fucking,
intro, man.
I mean, I don't care for Astroworld either, but
Like,
I
Where you
can't
voting
believe-
at,
No.
man?
you
Does
can.
Astroworld stay on the list? Yes or no? All yes,
There's-
please.
I
raise
love
your
it, but I can
One,
understand when
It's
it
only me.
Two,
drops.
three.
I take it off.
hand. Astroworld is staying on the
that's
list.
what I'm saying. It's 3. So
I don't understand the cult behind him. I'm just gonna put that out there. I've never understood the cult behind Travis Scott.
It's kids. It's the kids, bro.
But we're grown ass men.
Listen to the kids, bro.
We're grown ass men.
I mean,
there's
I'm almost
nothing
done.
that he does to me that is special.
I see
There's
the,
a cult.
Wow.
I've seen
There's
the,
a
I've
big
seen
ass
the,
cult.
I've seen the
Ever.
impact.
Opinion.
I'm talking. I've seen
Ever.
men go.
It's hard.
crazy.
It's hard
Kanye
to
has a
ignore
bigger
though.
cult.
It's
To be
good.
honest.
It is good. It is
So,
successful.
We can't talk about cults if we're not. If,
YouTube.
if,
It's
if
hard-
Kanye has a
But
much
I feel
wilder
like
cult.
Travis Scott's
It's hard
cult
to
is
ignore though.
different,
It's
though.
very
I've
hard
seen
to
the
ignore.
impact.
We ignore
All right,
slavery.
guys.
We ignore slavery.
This is
Did we?
this is a great conversation.
Ye, the Knicks.
We're going to review the top 10 albums. We're going to make sure that we solidify them. If we have a couple more arguments. We're gonna make them. If not, we're gonna wrap up. So at number 1, we have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. At number 2, we have To Pimp a Butterfly. At number 3, we have Yeezus. At number 4, we have Damn. And at number 5, we have Man on the Moon. Out of those top 5, are there any objections?
Man on the Moon. But not really.
Okay. Our top 5 are solidified. Good job, guys. We're going to go through 6 from 10. Number 6, we have Daytona. 7, Good Kid, Mad City. 8, Watch the Throne. 9, Astroworld. Number 10, 2014, Forest Hill Drive.
So we really do have 3 Kendricks on here.
Are there any objections from 6 to 10?
Yeah.
Any objections?
I'm okay with
I mean, I'm gonna say it a million times over, but
Y'all all right with the 3 Kendricks?
I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly.
Greatness is greatness.
Nah, I hear you, but goddamn, 3? Is 3A on there?
Y'all vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, T-Lop should have been on the
It's
Moon.
2.5.
I
Okay,
put on this one.
relax.
Whoa.
Relax.
All right.
Relax. Bro.
Relax. Relax.
I think Drake should be on the list over Travis Scott.
If I was gonna take anything off here, I'd take
How
Good
do you
Kid,
feel
Mad
about
City. To
this
be
being
honest.
added the wrong Drake?
Well,
You
see,
think
there's
the
the
wrong Drake album?
And no Pink Print.
Well, he said.
I do think they're the wrong.
He
Drake
said.
No
If y'all
Pink
add the wrong
Friday.
Drake album, I feel like they should be able to substitute it out
I
and put
think
the
you
right
guys
one,
have to vote
and then
Drake
vote it where I think it should be it.
Well,
Y'all think
well,
that's the wrong
Gats
Drake
is
album?
saying that he's got the same sentiments as me as far as the 3rd Kendrick album.
I would have taken Good Kid, Mad City off.
So
All right.
I'm fine with J. Cole. I would have taken Good Kid, Mad City off of here, and I would have put.
I'm not taking.
Nothing was the same.
Nothing was
So
the
the-
same.
That's not a better album than that.
So before we wrap up, I do
Musically,
have
not a
one-
better album.
I have one quick question. As far as it seems like we picked the wrong Drake album for Nothing Was the Same. If we were to switch Nothing Was the Same and Views,
I would
does
just take
Views
care.
make the top 10 before Astroworld?
Views,
I would-
Boots.
Forest Hills and
Number
Astroworld.
10.
Because I'll say this, it's kind of ridiculous that the most streamed artist of the decade
isn't
doesn't
on the
have a
list.
top 10.
I agree with you. I think Views should be
Y'all just
9 or
rewind
10.
that tape. Y'all
Views
better
might
say
be
that.
Daytona out.
I would have said Take Care. I would have said Take Care. I would have said Take Care.
Listen, Drake on this list, goddammit. Like, it doesn't matter which album you want to throw in there.
If you say
You could
Take
play.
Care
You could put if you're reading this
over
on this,
Astroworld,
like
then
something's on there.
I'm kind of
we can't
upset
agree
that you
with a
have
Drake album-
You don't have.
I don't
Man
want
on the Moon
Astroworld on this list.
Y'all put a J.
I think that people are doing it now because it's
Telling them
temporarily
this.
trendy.
Flat.
It's not
They
a
put
timeless project.
Astroworld
It is not
over
going to live.
Yes,
forever.
yes, we put
I
Astroworld.
mean,
Astroworld's
what's the
fucking
comparison?
great.
It's
It is
great,
great.
now.
It will be
About
great.
Take
It
Care
will be great in 5
It
years.
is not
Views.
going to be great.
Here's my
until-
question. Can we
There's like a couple
agree on a
records that are
Drake
gonna be
album?
phenomenal.
Does Drake make the list? Yes or no?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
I guess.
If we
I
can
think
get a
we're
majority,
disrespecting the culture by not putting it. I'll agree with him.
if we
I
can
think
get a
we're disrespecting the culture by
majority
not putting
vote
Drake
for
on the
Drake
service.
making on the
Yeah,
on the
we're
list,
disservice.
we can figure it out an album. Does Drake make the list? Raise your hand. Yes.
Fine, take Astroworld
1,
out.
2, 3.
Whatever, man.
Drake has re-entered the top 10. We don't know the album yet.
We're just gonna say Drake.
But we know.
Let's just say Drake. Let's just say
Drake makes
fucking
the
Drake
top
at this
10.
point. It's just Drake.
What album
He's ubiquitous, dog. You cannot
for
not have it.
Views
I think Views should be there.
do we take away out of our
For
top 10?
fucking Views.
And ironically
Bro.
enough, I asked my
Yeah.
I asked my
For
boy
fucking
today.
Views
I asked my boy today. I was
Views
like,
has
Views
the
are-
hit.
are
fucking
number-
Views? Are you
He's
serious?
What I'm telling you is
No,
that
time
Views
out,
has
time
the
out,
hits.
time out, time out, time out, time
Yes,
out,
Views
time
has the
out.
hits.
Nah, bro,
Now, Views
nah,
are-
bro, because
I
I'm
need
about
to
to
look at
lose
the
an
track
album.
list.
You're gonna hear
Take
me the
Care.
fuck out, bro. You're gonna hear me.
We're gonna hear him
Fucking
out.
Views
Take Care.
with the garbage ass intro and the garbage ass. I turned the,
Oh, wait, you
the,
don't
the
like-
nine
you
is
don't- you don't
upside
like-
down. It's a fucking 6,
No,
bro.
it's
That
not.
elementary
Tell me.
6
bullshit.
up down. It's a 9.
What the fuck is that?
It
You don't like the
is
Bond
right
intro?
now.
That's
You
not
don't like the
Oh
Bond
my
intro?
god, yo, you
It's not
fucking
garbage.
serious?
I'll be honest.
And
I don't
to
know
be-
what a 9 is. I
No,
don't.
to be fair, I think people really overthought that line. It's
Yes.
the 6.
Talking-
It's Toronto's the
talking
6.
about arguing
You
in
turned
the
the city
goddamn
upside down. It
Cheesecake
wasn't
Factory.
really
Very
that.
simple. It's
It wasn't
very
really
simple.
that big of a
Alright,
deal.
let's
That shit
we
was
talking over
bullshit.
each other.
Yo, that shit was
Look,
Look,
man.
elementary rhymes.
We
He
talking
took,
over each other.
he took the city of the 6.
I got interrupted, bro. I'm
No, do you think? Go.
Go ahead.
Go.
I got you.
Bro,
I'm looking at you.
he had the most elementary bullshit on that album. I understand the
Channing
importance
Tatum
of
was bad.
Vote Drake on my
Channing Tatum was bad.
it was bad,
Channing
bro.
Tatum was
And
bad.
the fucking DMX lines, all that shit was
The only
gar-
problem with that project, there's too many songs.
It's too many songs.
That's the
It's
only problem
too
with it.
corny. It's
Drake is corny.
I'm
I
not voting
understand, but
Views.
it was way too corny, bro. It was
Drake is
another
corny.
level of corny. If we're gonna say Take
It look
Care
like
for
this nigga not finna
Astroworld,
make
Or Nothing Was
okay.
the Same.
If we're gonna say Nothing Was the Same for Astroworld,
Nothing
okay.
Was the
Same.
I'm
Like he's too
not laying
Canadian
down
for
for
his own
fucking
good. He
views,
ain't
dog.
making it.
I am not.
Look,
No.
I don't
Yeah.
care what album Drake gets on here, because My opinion, because to me they're all the same fucking.
If we say
album.
it's remix too late, I'm with that.
Well, hold on. Technically, it was a mixtape verse, right? So
Correct.
it cannot be.
Can't be on
Which one? Which one?
It was.
Take Care?
Yes, it
That
was.
was-
It was released on SoundCloud.
Yeah, it was some weird shit.
Yes, it was.
Yo,
It was marketed as a
Yeah,
mixtape.
Well, they took it off.
And they took
Which
it off.
one?
It's
if you
seen
read
as a
it.
commercial mixtape.
Oh,
If you
I'm
go on
not voting
Wikipedia, it
that
says
at all.
commercial
Yeah,
mixtape.
Quentin Miller fiasco.
But I would say
Views either.
if we say Take Care,
Why can't we just go with what was there and that was nothing was the same?
or if we go with Nothing Was the Same,
Because
and
that's
just
not
call it
the
a day.
That is the one.
Views
Honestly,
is the one.
I think that's the closest
Views
next
is
to
not
Take
the
Care
one.
as far
Views
as
had
his,
the one
his
that
classics are
Views had
concerned.
the ones where he was singing a lot, right? With the Afro beats.
Correct.
It had a couple.
And now, how many Afro beats we got now?
I don't know if that was. I don't think that was Drake.
We had a year. Of
Actually, the one with the Afro beats was
2017
more
a
like.
whole year.
No, it did. But what rolled into that?
I don't think that was Drake that did that though necessarily.
That's
Bro,
fair.
can we
If
just
you
say
don't think
Nothing
that's
Was the Same
Then
and-
we could just not have it on there.
Yeah, but it's
that's
not about
fine.
who did it first.
Views
It's about who
had
did it
his
right.
first
So we talked about a disservice.
No, they don't bring that point up. They don't bring that point
You
up.
had Views
Go
on
back
your
to
top 10,
go
right?
back to
Out
the
of
track
respect.
listing.
Out of
Outline
respect,
Blade.
but you originally wouldn't have
Outline
him on your top
Blade.
10.
Yeah,
No,
I
go
felt
back-
like, but
go
my
back to-
personal
only mean
opinion,
one
no.
thing.
Pat,
And me neither.
your thing is
But I
track
respect-
for track.
But for disservice,
His connection to fans,
yes.
his consistency, and his success,
It's a
he
success.
deserves to be
Right.
on the list.
I'll say this.
It's
Do
a
I
success.
think he's the best? Do I think his
But-
albums
No.
are actual concepts?
Exactly.
No, I think they're a
Drake-
list of fucking songs that are good.
Yeah.
But as an album, it's not a piece of art
Yes.
to me. They're just
Drake
good
has a
records.
great argument for being one of the
Hughes
top
isn't
artists of the
that, though.
decade. But unfortunately, right now, we're looking at albums,
Mm-hmm.
and not one of his albums has done
That's
what it
that's
should
my-
have
That's
done.
not true.
That's a good. That's a
That's
good
not-
point.
That's
I
the
don't think
thing.
that's
He
true.
doesn't have. I
Realistically,
mean,
it just
other
hasn't.
than
Every
Party. Touring.
album,
Bryson.
But album.
But
Album.
that's
Already
him as an
artist.
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 he does.
It's him as
as
an
an
artist.
artist,
but if
We talking over each other.
Hold on.
No
We
album has yet to like just been like.
But
we
we-
can all agree on it. Every album is arguable, and since every album is arguable,
He's
there's some
consistent.
albums on here that's not arguable.
because we have
Yeah,
to sit
but
here and
not
argue
arguable.
about
But
which
not in the
Drake
bottom
album.
half. The bottom half was the
That's
ones
a
that we
problem in
argued.
That's a
itself.
problem in itself.
He's right. That's a problem in itself.
It's
You
a problem
can't
in
pick the
itself.
album
We
that's
can't
great
pick a
out of
fucking
it.
album, bro.
I think they're all.
And that's
They're
what,
all
like,
really good.
Quick question.
But
Quick
nothing's
question.
that.
if you guys had said 444 over Astroworld, I would be way okay with that with that argument because it is a
Cohesive concept.
cohesive concept. You can match the
It's a
impact
message.
of 444 to Astroworld, and we can lay that down, and that's fine. But the fact that we have to sit here and figure out which Drake album,
You okay with that?
that's a problem.
But you can't ignore that 444 ain't hit the way it was supposed
I don't give a
to.
fuck about that.
I'm
What
saying,
I
but
get-
that counts
What
for
do you mean
something.
hit?
I
No,
mean,
no,
he
no.
couldn't sell out his tour.
But-
That's
but-
there's
That
something to be
means
said.
something. That means something.
That's
He
something to be. If we're gonna put so much
Jay-Z
stock
needs to be our
on
son.
Drake being booed at the shit with Tyler,
no, Jay-Z
then
needs to be
Jay-Z
our
not
son.
selling out a tour is a big fucking deal.
But this is
I
the
think
thing.
that's not him. The album dropping the ball.
The
I think
thing
that's
is
the
we're-
marketing
that's
team.
the
dropping
marketing
It's
the ball.
Jay-Z. Who gives a fuck
Yeah.
about marketing?
Yeah.
But
I
this is the
agree.
thing.
It's
We're-
Jay-Z.
we're not-
Time out. Who gives a fuck about marketing? Astroworld is nothing but a marketing bubble. That the music itself
and
is
it's
not that
and
great.
it's not to be. Oh, I don't know about that.
Bro, it is.
I don't know
Look,
about that.
he in 10 years he won't even be in the fucking conversation.
That's not true.
He is
That's
going
a
to
hot
die
take.
out. He is going to be
Wait,
behind the
whoa.
scenes. In
Do
10
we have
years,
a
he's not
drop?
in the conversation.
Opinionated.
I've been saying this
That
for
is
years,
a hot
bro.
take, my brother.
so-
But
I
he's
don't
still,
care.
but he's still here. If you've been saying it for
Now-
years,
Bro,
Now, guys-
there's no reason Tyler shouldn't be on here and Travis Scott's on here.
Now, guys, episode 2 of Opinionated, we'll be talking about top artists of the decade. But for now, we're talking about top albums.
And this is the thing.
So here are our top albums. Do we agree? Do we not agree? Yes or no?
I feel like we agree, but because of the fact that we can't figure out a Drake album to put in there.
Yeah,
I think
Drake
that's a problem in
needs
itself.
to
we
stay
don't. We're not
off.
talking about
Okay.
artists.
Oh,
But when we have a
before we
conversation
finish,
about artists,
Drake is on the
should be
list.
one. Drake should be two.
But before we finish,
you're right.
can
He's
can
right.
I just propose a question?
Sure.
You asked me, I forget what artist you mentioned, but it was like, are we comparing him to himself?
Mm-hmm.
If we
Jay-Z.
can't fit Drake on this list, do you think that's because it's not better than the bottom half of this list, or is it that we can't pick him against himself?
No,
No,
because
because
he
he's
can't
got
have an album.
because he's got
There's not a
he's got everything that you would check off for as far as these albums are concerned, and I refuse to put J. Cole's album over any Drake album. I don't give a damn.
But then we just take it to a vote at that point.
I mean,
so-
sure, and I'll lose that vote. But
honestly, I think if we can't pick a single album from Drake that is the most incredible album, it's a conversation and something that needs to be said, but that's just a problem.
But I
If we're
think
picking
that's
artists,
more.
he'd be there.
I think that
Albums,
has
he's
more
not
to
there.
do with
We
his
got rid of
greatness
the
and
Pink
less to do
Friday.
about the list. To be fair,
Can we maybe we could just leave a spot for honorable mention?
And I think, honestly, I think 444 should be on there over Astroworld or Forest Hills Drive.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. But I get to go to a vote.
I mean, if y'all want to vote that.
Well, it seems like our top 10 list has been made. At number 1, you have Kanye West with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Number 2, To Pimp a Butterfly. Number 3, Yeezus.
No one's gonna be happy.
Number 4,
No.
Damn. Number
Damn.
5, Man on the
Damn.
Moon. Number 6, Daytona. At 7, we have Good Kid, Mad City. 8, Watch the Throne.
I don't think so.
9, Astroworld.
Straight up.
And 10, 2014 Forest Hill Drive. Now, before we get out of here, I want each of you to give your honorable mention or an album that should have made the top 10. We're going to start with Gas.
I guess honorable mention. It's not something that's going to make the top 10 now. I think later on, when we review things, it will. But it's going to be Care for Me. I think that was the best pure rap album to come out in I don't know how long. And I think that Saba has a very long career ahead of him.
It's a great album.
And he's going to have that A Tribe Called Quest look back, like where
Facts.
people start to look at the older Tribe after, you know,
The music that ages like wine.
yeah, I think that's going to be important. But right now, it's not going to have the impact. So, and I understand that. But that's going to be my honorable mention.
Cool. Sam, any honorable mentions?
Tyler Creator, Flower Boy, or Igor, either or. I think we're doing a disservice by him not being on this list musically.
Cool.
Weird.
Pat, any honorable mentions?
444. Shout out to Jay-Z. Shout out to Duce.
Love Duce.
Amazing. 404. Don't cheat on Beyonce again.
Let's go.
Donya?
I'm torn.
Okay.
I'm very torn. I don't know, because I feel like time is gonna, I can't tell which artist that didn't make it time, because I feel like Dirty Sprite 2 should have been on there.
Big facts.
For me, he's like fighting me on Tierra Whack, but I feel like down the road
That's
it's gonna
something-
have impact.
I agree with you
You
on that.
know, and it's just like that's what I'm thinking about long term. Like, this might be in the top 10 like in 10 years. You feel me? But right now, maybe not.
Okay.
So
And Bronze, round it up.
I mean, Drake, he said it himself, 3 sets of 3 years, that's damn near 10. Like, for this list to just totally ignore Drake, especially with that snoozer at number 10, I wouldn't give a damn what album you put on there. Put Thank Me Later on there. It's over 10. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, thank you
No
to
big
our
five.
sponsors at PBR. Thank you for the wonderful beer. Thank you to our panel, our wonderful guests. They were beautiful. Clap it up for our panel. Thank you. Ask my effects some more claps. Thank you for me for sitting down for a couple hours and talking to them. We'll be back with Opinionated episode 2. See you.
Shout out PBR. Shout out Blue Zone.
The platform.
Shout out John Boyd.
Opinionated.
Shout out Opinionated.
Okay,
Yeah, shout out my studio, Dojo Sounds. Check us out on Newport. Shout out my girlfriend for being patient as fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yo,
shout out Blue Zone. And on the 4th, I'm doing a monochromatic art piece / rap concert at Crowbar. Check it out.
Early.
And I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fucking fun.
I don't know.
It
Oh,
was
this
dope.
is what kind of big is this?
yeah, I need these lips on. Smash. What's up, hey? It's Friki Donya. Shout out Opinionated. It was very interesting. You will see the list. Cray. Other than that, check out my playlist that comes out every Friday. It's called Freaky Friday. It's spelled a little bit different. It's Friki. You can check it out. Shout out Beats and Chill. Shout out the whole fam that came through tonight. Yeah, shout out Tampa. I mean, we doing our thing, so it's game. You know, we ain't agree on
said
things,
hugging,
but
so.
you know, it's okay.
Almost, but like
to
literally
zoom
sitting
in.
down and be like, hey,
Get the face shot.
you know what I mean?
It's Robert at Bobby Bonz. Probably the better half of Pound Sign Block Me Back, producer, all that good stuff. It was cool, super cool. Don't like that Drake ain't on there, but you know, I guess I'll live. I just, played Nothing Was the Same on the ride home. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But I'm signing off. Shout out to Decent Shield. And it's a cool experience.
Ain't nobody gonna take pictures of me. It's crazy. Nobody want me to have content.
Oh, I got you, bro, man.
Fuck you. Thank you.
Oh, God. Okay. Wait, fuck me and thank you. Fuck me and thank you, bitch.
Hello.
All of my lesbian friends are not friends anymore. Drake is not on the 10 list. Fuck him. When they say about that shit, Drake is goddamn. I have fun. My name's. Well, y'all tell me when to roll, man. What the fuck is going on?
We got it.
Yo.
It was rolling.
I couldn't get a picture, bitch.